one that would have called me would have been Ada, but she lives here now, so.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bonsai Movie Crew. We are the Bonsai Movie Crew with Eric, Karen, Dad, but you can call him Joseph, and me.
The Bonsai Movie Coup.
Yep.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant crew.
Well,
Well,
said-
you went back
you
and
corrected
fixed it,
yourself,
yeah.
but first you said coup.
I did?
Yeah.
You were
Which is
testing us,
kind
weren't
of
you?
which is kind of cool though.
It's cute.
Okay. We are the Bonsai Movie Crew.
Cool crew.
Cool
Crew.
crew. We should change our name. This is where we do a podcast over a movie. Sorry, I was looking
You
at
don't really have to do all that. You can just tell them what.
I know, but they need to know what they're getting themselves into if they're new. It's
Yeah.
If you're new here-
self-advertising. We can plug whenever we want. It's our channel. Okay?
Well,
Okay.
we can plug it right into our butt if we
Uh-huh.
want.
Okay.
No, minor. And he's married. She's married. You're married.
So
So.
ask Crystal. Maybe I like things in my butt.
That's a different channel.
Totally different platform altogether.
Sorry. Anyways,
Until you get shut down.
we
Could be this.
review a movie
Oh,
every
we're getting
week.
shut down. Don't you worry.
No, I'm not saying this channel.
No, I mean me in general. It's
Fair
getting
enough.
shut down.
You
We
guys.
get some weird shit.
You guys.
Once
You
we
guys.
make it, we'll get shut down like instantly. One big
Okay.
video, pow.
Pow!
We were-
Whoa! You are not meant to do that to dogs.
Oh
Whoa.
God!
Oh,
Whoa!
Oh my God.
Whoa!
And that's where the line is drawn.
Can you draw like 2 lines maybe? Or 4? Keep him in his own little
We're
box,
just gonna build a wall.
please?
There's not gonna be a line. There's gonna be a wall.
A circle.
We're gonna get Trump in this bitch.
Keep him. You see this trapezoid right here?
Razor wire
That's
everywhere.
his wall. And it needs to be around him.
Hey, I like to think I'm the funniest guy on this podcast. No
Yeah?
offense, guys.
You'd like
No
to think
offense.
that?
I think that. Doesn't mean it's true.
There's only 2
Eric's
guys,
like, okay.
so. Anyways.
Just let him think that.
we
Yeah, hey,
review...
somebody's got to be a little arrogant. You know what I mean?
Okay, Dad, whenever I said we can plug whenever we want, I didn't mean plug as in bloat about ourselves.
This is where you say you should probably just plug your mouth hole.
You told me to do it.
No, saying you telling me to do that. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
where you should have ran with what I was saying.
That I'm not the
I was
funniest
just gonna
guy
say,
here.
have a very
You're
special
exactly
day.
right. You're
See?
not the funniest guy here.
No, I was just gonna say, have a very special day for a very special boy.
Okay, so this is where we review a singular movie every week. We did it.
Unless you
we
go
did a
check out
double
my
feature
other
once.
videos on my other platform, then we can review other movies.
What?
Homemade movies.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah.
Dad.
Because we were, yeah.
Okay.
We're going back
Anyways,
to that.
See, that was bad. You got to know. when
3
to joke.
words. 3 words. Cucumber, dog, me.
Can we move on?
Yeah, it's
please?
getting weird now. Let's move along.
Yes, Madison, please.
You're forgetting something though, Madison.
I'm working my
Oh,
way
sorry.
there.
Give her a minute.
Okay.
You keep interrupting her to
also-
talk
Like,
about
let me
dogs and
digest everything that you
cucumbers.
just said. Sorry.
I don't want to digest any cucumbers anymore, okay? This is where we review a singular movie every week, and we go over a person every week. Usually it's people that we like. We don't really do people that we don't like.
No, we've
That's
done.
not
people-
true. We
we've
did
done
Danny
people-
Masterson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nobody likes him.
It's true.
we've. Yeah.
I said we usually do people that we like, okay?
We usually just make it related to the movie that we're doing.
Mhm.
Usually.
Yeah.
Whether we like
we
him or
talk
not.
about people, regardless. Honestly.
Whether it be a director or an actor or...
Well, I think that first you should probably tell them
Producer.
about our social stuff.
Yeah.
I will. I'm working my way there. They gotta know
How long
who
is it
we
going to take
are.
you?
This is the
You
long
guys are the
intro.
ones that keep interrupting me.
You said this is where we review a movie like 4 times.
Because they have to hear me.
This is
Without
where like
you
the
guys
director
talking
like says,
over me.
"Cut. We're going to redo this."
That's a wrap.
Okay. You can...
I didn't say anything.
I was expecting you to.
No.
You can follow us on our TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, our X and our Facebook. Didn't they change the name for Facebook too? Or they're
No.
trying to.
It's just Facebook. Nobody cares
You're
about
thinking
Facebook
of
enough.
Meta.
Or
That's their
YouTube.
whole
Yeah. that's-
platform
yeah.
thing. Like all of their
Oh.
shit
Yeah, they're going to
together.
change the name of
And our
Facebook. Nobody cares about
Instagram.
Facebook that much.
And Did I say TikTok already? I said TikTok already. It was the first thing I said. And you can rate us on Spotify, and you can also find us on Spotify. We also have a podcast on YouTube now, and we have a Discord. We pretty much have everything. You guys can really look us up on anything, and you'll find us. Besides that one thing that we got rid of that nobody uses.
Rumble.
Yeah.
Stop even talking about him. Nobody cares about him.
I'm sorry, but if I
No,
say
don't be sorry,
everything
just-
and they look us up on there.
Go find some old videos. They're still on there. We just,
I mean, obviously, if they're listening to us on here, they're going to be able to find us anywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can find us anywhere. Dad'll leave a. Do you still do that? Yeah, he'll leave a video thing on the screen, and he also
There will be some
leaves-
graphics to guide you.
There will also be a link in the description for a lot of our stuff. All of it.
We could probably put a
All of our
link in
stuff.
the subscription as like a link tree.
There's a
Yep.
link tree and
there's a
most
link
stuff,
tree
yeah.
on YouTube and on our channel.
Yeah.
And then there's also I always put down in the description. There will always be a link to the X, the TikTok, and the Discord. So, because I
gotta add
guess
the
so.
Discord to
If
the
you're
tree.
looking for our Discord, typically if you're watching this video or listening to us, it's likely and it's old. Then it's likely that the Discord link is no longer. It's an invite essentially. It's no longer available. Because I think they have to refresh every 7 days or something.
Something
which
like
is
that.
Stupid. I tried to set it to where it never has to refresh, but it still does it anyway. I don't know why.
So just look us up on.
So just look us up on the if you want to just go to the newest video we have, and it'll be in that description. So
All right. Anything else? Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
All right. Go ahead and get in our creative profile. Who are we doing this week, Dad?
Take a wild guess.
Did we do Sigourney
Rhea
Weaver
Ripley.
last time? I don't remember.
We haven't done Sigourney Weaver.
I should know
Rhea.
that because I put him in here.
Rhea Ripley.
What?
You said to take a wild guess, and I said Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley? That's not her name.
I know.
Well,
The
then
wrestler.
it
I'm
would
talking
be her
about
then,
the
right?
wrestler. I know who Rhea
I don't
Ripley
know who the
is.
hell the wrestler is.
The really buff goth lady?
Okay, I don't know who that. I don't watch wrestling anymore.
You don't know who
I haven't
Rhea
watched
Ripley
wrestling in
is?
probably.
See, now I'm in the
like,
boat of you really
fucking
don't know
20
who
years.
that is?
I think.
I
I
don't
mean, I know
watch
who you're talking
wrestling.
about, but like, I didn't know her name.
Yeah, it was Rhea
I know we
Ripley.
did Michael Bean for one.
We did him for Terminator. That was for Terminator. For the first one,
Oh yeah,
I think. Yeah, it was for the first Terminator.
I thought okay.
And then we did Sigourney.
Were we doing creator profiles when we did Alien before?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't even see him on here.
No, I don't think so. Did we do Michael Biehn?
That's what I was getting ready to say.
we
I
did him
don't
on
see
the
it.
second one.
The first one I see is Spirited Away.
We might have done him on Spirited Away. No.
James Gunn, Robert Downey Jr., Paul Rubens, Morgan Freeman, Selena Gomez, Keanu Reeves, Kevin Bacon, Michael J. Fox,
I don't know
Danny
we did
Masterson,
Michael
Margot Robbie, Jason Statham, Tom Savini, John Carpenter, Wes Craven, Danny DeVito, Elizabeth Banks, Peter Jackson, Bruce Campbell, Nick Cage, Bruce Willis, Tim Allen, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Winona Ryder, Harrison
Yeah, we
Ford,
haven't done
Demi
him.
Moore, Toby Hooper, Robin Williams, Dennis Hopper, Will Ferrell.
No, we haven't done him.
So Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver. This is a pretty short one. There's not a lot about her. Like,
She's pretty.
she's pretty quiet. I think
She keeps to herself quite a bit.
and she's not been in the tabloids like a lot of other people.
Yeah.
No,
you
she
know.
keeps.
likes it,
She
yeah.
keeps to herself.
She likes her privacy,
Who wants to read
as
it?
one should.
I can if you want me to.
It's not long at all. It's only like 4 paragraphs. Oh wait, that's Alien. Sorry.
Please tell me that. Shut up.
Yeah, it's not very long at all. It's probably as long as the plot.
Okay, Sigourney Weaver. Early life. Suzanne Alexandra Weaver. Suzanne? Wow.
What made her change her name?
I don't know. We'll find out, I guess.
Privacy.
Was born on October
Yeah.
8th, 1949 in New York City and began calling herself Sigourney at the age of 14 after discovering the name in F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. The daughter of English actress Elizabeth Inglis and former NBC president Sylvester Weaver, Weaver grew up fully immersed in the entertainment business. Despite a privileged childhood, Weaver's formative years weren't always easy. She lacked confidence in her own beauty, a trait brought on by the fact that she was generally taller than most boys, or most girls she knew, and by her mom, who told her at the age of 8 that she was simply plain looking. I thought, well, if my mother doesn't think I'm pretty, no one else will, Weaver once said. At age 13, Weaver was sent to see a psychiatrist to address what her parents perceived
Emotional damage.
Oh shit.
what her parents perceived to be their daughter's uncommunicative personality. I wonder why.
Don't worry, my mom doesn't tell me I'm pretty either.
I don't talk to my parents because, well, they said I'm ugly.
You gave me the ugly. I never even spoke to this psychiatrist. We were recalled I was a normal teenager, and teenagers hate telling their parents anything. After private high school in Connecticut, Weaver attended California Stanford University. It was there that she realized her true dream was to become an actress. After graduating from Stanford with a Bachelor of Arts degree in literature in 1971, Weaver moved back east to Connecticut to attend Yale Drama School.
I just want to stop you there for a second. Sigourney, we've all heard of you. I don't know who the fuck your mom is. Just saying.
No shit.
So obviously you're a better person.
And
Yeah.
look,
You made it a lot further than she did. So.
you're a very attractive woman. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, totally. I definitely had the hots for her in the Alien movies.
No, I mean,
Like, I know she is kind of plain looking, but I'm like, but still though.
It's not about how she looks, though. It's the way she carries herself. She's
she's a
a
badass.
powerhouse.
Badass.
She's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
But just so
She
you
just-
know,
she always
Sigourney.
made me think of mom.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
Okay, well, she don't remind me of my mom. So
So that's fine. I'm saying you go for that. I'm just saying she's reminding me
But
of mine.
I just want to say also, she's also Ripley is one of my favorite skins on Fortnite.
She finished the program in 1974, 1 year before another actress and new friend, Meryl Streep. Career breakthroughs. Over the next several years, Sigourney Weaver found steady work in a host of off-Broadway shows. She also landed a role on the short-lived soap Somerset and earned a small part as Woody Allen's movie date in the now classic film Annie Hall. But it was her performance as the tough Ripley in the 1979 mega hit Alien that catapulted Weaver to stardom and offered her a lineup of other work to choose from. Over the next decade, she starred in a host of well-received films, including The Year of Living Dangerously with Mel Gibson and the wildly popular comedy Ghostbusters. In 1986, Weaver reprised her Ripley role for the Alien sequel, Aliens, which garnered the star an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress. 2 years later, Weaver garnered 2 more Oscar nominations in the Best Actress category for her performance in Gorillas in the Mist, and in the Best Supporting Actress category for her portrayal of Catherine Parker in the film Working Girl, both released in 1988. Weaver's busy workload continued throughout the 1990s. She reunited with castmates of Alien series to play Ripley in Aliens 3, resurrecting the role yet again for Alien Resurrection. Resurrecting the role for Alien Resurrection. In
Ooh,
1997.
Nice pun.
Yeah, in 1993, she took on... I'm just saying they could have come up with a
I
different
know.
word. Like, why use the same word?
Because they were trying to be clever.
How about playing the role again for Alien Resurrection?
Or returning for the role.
Yeah, there you go. In 1993, she took on a lighter role as faux U.S. First Lady in the playful hit Dave, also starring Kevin Kline. The pair teamed up again in 1997 for the indie drama The Ice Storm, a moody portrait of family and suburban life set in the 1970s. Additionally, in 1996, Weaver made a return to Broadway in Sex and Lounging. In recent years, Weaver has continued to demonstrate her range as an actress and her willingness to seek out interesting projects. In 2004, she co-starred in the M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong release The Village.
M. Night Shyamalan what?
Ding
Ding
Dong.
dong.
His
Ding
name is-
dong.
his name is M. Night-
Shyamalan.
It's M. Night Shyamalan.
It's M. Night Shyamalan.
And M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
Shyamalan.
Shyamalan Ding Dong.
Shyamalan.
2 years later, she was the face of a pair of indie releases, The TV Set and Snowcake. In 2009, she paired up with the Aliens director James Cameron for the big-budget hit Avatar. In addition to her steady work, Weaver has maintained a close connection to the stage, starring...
Yeah.
She play it.
She played the doctor lady.
Yeah.
She had a bigger role in the first
I
one.
hated
than the
Avatar
second
whenever I was a kid. I couldn't sit through it.
one. Since I've gotten older, I've
Yeah.
appreciated it more.
I
It
still
is.
haven't
Not me.
seen him.
And the second one was
I hate
amazing. I don't care what movie it is. The movie was awesome.
I still haven't
I
seen
don't
him.
know what it is about.
I was going into it like
Very visually
I went
stunning.
into it like, all right, well, this movie's probably gonna suck, even though everybody loves it. I'm probably gonna hate it. And I was like, nope, this movie's amazing. So
I want to hate you so bad.
I wanted to hate it, but I couldn't hate it. It was such a beautiful movie. It was gorgeous.
In addition to her steady film work, Weaver has maintained a close connection to the stage, starring in a variety of theatrical performances. Personal life. Weaver is married to filmmaker Jim Simpson. They have one child together, a daughter, Charlotte, who was born
You think she ever calls him Jimson?
I would. Who was born on April 13th, 1990. And that is it for Miss Weaver.
See, she lives a very, very secluded life, and that's okay.
It's good.
Yep.
It's good for the soul.
All I want to know is, like, she's a good actress. She does a good job. I don't need to know her political standpoints. I don't need to know
Exactly.
anything about her personal life.
That's right.
I'm glad that she and her family live a very quiet personal life. Good for
Which
you.
is weird for someone who came from money. Like her dad
Well,
was.
I mean, considering the way her parents behave towards her, I'm assuming that
Yeah.
she doesn't really look kindly
Yeah.
upon people with money.
Right.
Would be my guess.
So, favorite Sigourney Weaver movie? Go.
Oh man.
Ghostbusters.
I figured yours would be Ghostbusters,
I really like that
Close
first
second.
Alien movie.
the first one.
A close second would be was it Cabin in the Woods? She had like
That
that
was gonna be
cameo.
mine. That
Oh,
was gonna
I
be one of
love
mine.
that one.
Yeah.
I like Resurrection.
You do?
I do.
Oh, good lord! What is? I
I
cannot
like
be
that
related to this guy.
I mean, it's got its. It's.
I like.
it's a better movie than
I like.
3. I'll give it that.
I like that.
but-
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
I
have
like
to watch
it
it
more
again to
than
make
3.
that determination.
well, it's better in a lot of different ways. Like, it's better with the action. It's better with the feel of the movie. It's filmed better. It's not so ugly looking.
Yeah.
Plus, it has Winona Ryder in it.
I don't know. I
And
Is
can't.
it
it ha-
really?
yeah.
Now
Yeah.
we gotta watch it. We gotta
And-
pull it out
and
of
it's
the
got-
Who told you that?
And
You
it's
did?
got
Oh,
what's his
probably
face
wasn't
in it?
listening.
Fuck.
Thanks a lot.
What's his name?
Sorry.
Played Hellboy.
Oh,
Fuck, I know his name.
Who?
It's on the tip of my
yeah,
tongue.
he was in
He was
he
Hellboy.
was in Drive.
He was in
too.
Drive. He was in
That guy.
That one guy with the face.
Yeah.
It'll
and
come to me. He was on
and
Sons
the
of Anarchy.
eyes.
His son of the Anarchy. Yeah,
He
She
has
had-
the shoulders too, right?
he has the
He
shoulders.
has the big fucking face.
you know, with
Yeah.
the eyes. He's got ears.
He's got hair
I think
too.
he's got a nose.
He's
I
got
think
yeah. He's
Ron
got a nose.
Perlman.
Isn't he
There he
blonde?
Ron
is.
Perlman. That's
That's what I
it.
said.
But anyway, so Cabin in the Woods would be my favorite if she was more of a prominent character.
I was
in the
gonna
movie.
say that would be that's a
But
close second.
but Aliens would have to be my favorite.
Aliens.
Second one.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. It's tough.
When we,
Probably
did the
Alien.
when we did the
Well,
podcast, we all said the first one was better.
I know it is, but only
But
depends
no,
on
I
how
get
look
it.
at
You
know?
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it would be the first one.
I don't know.
The
I'd
first
have
one's
to watch.
probably one of the better ones.
I think the first one's better just because it's supposed to be. This is my reasoning for it, and this is why is because it's held as one of the premier horror series,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and it's in that genre, right?
Yeah.
As a horror series, but the only one that's horror is the first one. The rest of them
I
are more action.
Yeah.
The third one was kind of more of a horror and less of an
I
action.
I don't know about that. I would almost consider. I don't know. The third one's.
First one didn't bother me or scare me at all. Like I
Well,
never
it's
felt
Doesn't
any
Didn't
fear
see
from
None
it.
of them
Or-
scare you.
I think
I'm
that
just saying,
the
I
first
just never
and
got any,
second
like,
The
are.
first one has
fear
that
off of
ambiance.
it.
It has
It
that.
does. You're right.
It gives you that
Yeah.
like you never know where it is.
Suspension.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
because they couldn't
you also
show,
gotta
they
look
couldn't
at it-
show the whole thing,
And
which
if you look
added
at it,
to it.
if you look at it as a movie before ever even seeing the other ones, like you look at it as a movie and you don't know that they're in the second one there's a bunch of them or anything like that. So you're seeing it as like just this one alien on this ship with these people, and you know what I mean. So it makes it that much scarier. But I'm sure when the second one came out, it kind of nullified, like, kind of dumbed the first one down a little bit because you're like, whoa, fuck, look at him just blowing all these things away with. You
but
know what I mean?
that's sort of the thing is that like it turns it into some kind of action thing instead of horror.
It does, and I also believe this is why I went into the third one with an open mind because I'm like
I
the
did too.
second, huh?
I
The
did
second,
too.
yeah, because the second one was like it took this whole premise of aliens and then turned it into an action movie, guns and fucking just hundreds and hundreds of aliens. And then the second one went back to what the first one tried to, or what the first one did, and tried
Agreed.
to redo it
Mhm.
with having just one alien and blah blah blah.
No,
and I get
no
what they
weapons.
were trying to do.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
And see,
But-
like when I growing up, so you never showed me like the first or second Aliens. First Alien movie I ever got to watch was Resurrection.
Well, we had the first one on Laserdisc, but Mom wouldn't let me show you.
Well, like I
one.
said, the first one I seen, my
Laserdisc.
introduction to Aliens was Resurrection, so that's kind of why it's like my favorite one out of
No, I didn't see Resurrection. I'd already seen the first three by the time I was like, I think whenever Resurrection came out, actually.
To me, the most terrifying part in the second one is when he like peeks his head up into the ceiling.
Mhm.
You see, like,
Right there.
40
Yeah.
of them just kind of, nope.
Yeah, I would have never
Don't
stuck
look
my head
up
up there.
there.
Who's sticking their head up there? Let's draw straws on it.
Yeah, we all don't like that guy, right? Let's
Yeah,
have him
let's
do
let
it.
him do it.
Yeah, he looks like a red pig. He just looks like.
I don't
a
know.
red
Hicks
pig.
Hicks is pretty ballsy. Let's let him do it.
No, because we like
That
Hicks. We want him
guy-
to survive.
That guy's bald, so we shouldn't pick him.
I'll tell you.
Never know, it might blind them.
I have to watch the fourth one again, but my reaction to this after watching this was, this is like the only series of movies that not only do you put them in this order of good to bad, but they also came out in that order.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know because I got to watch the fourth one, but I just kind
Yeah.
of thought that as I was watching this, I'm like, well, 1 was the best, 2 was really good,
3 shit.
3 was
is
meh.
okay,
We'll
and
get
4,
there.
I just
four
remember
had its
being
problems.
4. I just remember thinking, okay,
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Okay.
Kinda.
okay. I don't want to
Kinda.
go into a lot because she's never seen it, but
Dad
it's
told me that
specific,
she was a clone.
specifically,
Pacifically.
Ripley.
Specifically.
Yeah. She's well. That's the biggest issue.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Anyway, let's move on here.
All right. What have you guys been watching? Got
Hmm.
you.
All
Gotta
right.
make sure you don't miss it.
What the hell have you been watching?
I wasn't going to.
What have you been watching?
I was about to say
What have
that.
you been watching?
Not much.
I think she's trying to steal your job, man.
No, I'm
Whatever.
just hyper. I'm excited.
You're always hyper.
Yeah.
I haven't watched shit this week. I watched the last episode of Arcane.
Without me?
That made me happy.
That it was without you.
I was gonna say, wow, what timing? Without me, that made me happy.
We watched the second episode of that Resident Alien.
Without me, you told me to wait.
I didn't
You
have any-
told me
Also,
to wait to watch it so
made
we
him
could
happy.
watch it, and you watched it anyways. With
He invited us, but we were busy. I'm just kidding.
You should have been there.
Oh.
and then I watched the first episode of that Shogun movie that's on Hulu or
See, now I don't know what that
FX
is.
or
We're
whatever.
getting better.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've seen.
It's pretty
clips
good so
of it.
far. So it's all like it tries to stay historically accurate, and so a lot of it is in Japanese, and you have to read subtitles. But then there's like these other guys who speak English too. It's pretty good though. I just hope they don't have to read for the whole series, because I think it's a limited series. I don't think it's a whole. They're not going to do multiple seasons.
I think I read that somewhere that it's limited.
I think it's only limited, which is cool. But
I
I know
like-
it's got Hiroyuki Sanada in it, and he's awesome. So I'll watch anything with him in it.
I think I did read though that it's going to be more than one season, but it's still going to be limited.
I
But
would
I don't know
rather-
I
that
have
for
no
sure.
idea. I don't know.
I would rather watch a movie that's in or seasons or anything in subtitles than to hear it dubbed.
Oh, dubbing.
Dubbed
would be
is
nuts.
just-
It's American made, but like there's English in it. People
Yeah.
there's this English.
so it goes
guy-
back and forth. Like it's.
It does,
yeah.
but like the Japanese people don't speak English.
Yeah, and they
Like there's one guy that like translates for the one guy to the other ones, and that's about it.
So you're probably going to have subtitles.
You have a lot of there's a lot of
Yeah.
subtitles, and because they're like, I don't understand what he's saying. They're saying this in Japanese, you know. And they're like, I don't understand you. And they're like, I don't understand you, and then it kind of makes sense. Like, well, yeah, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Why
Mhm.
would they know English, really? You know what I mean? Because back then, takes place in the 16th century, so
Well,
Yeah, I've watched all those Ip Man movies, and they're all
Yeah.
subtitles.
so it's pretty good though, and I think the production value looks awesome. It looks like. I mean, it looks awesome. It looks really good, and it looks beautiful. I mean, I love Japan and everything about it. So
yeah.
I just think Japan, like especially like 16th century Japan, is fucking gorgeous.
You need to tell John the next
Talks
time he goes
about
to
it all the
Japan,
time.
he needs to take us.
Japan.
Mhm.
See, I want to go to Japan, but I don't want to go to like the city areas. I want to go to like
The rural
You
areas.
should see some of the
The
pictures,
rural
man.
area,
He
yeah.
has
Oh,
got
yeah.
some beautiful pictures of the
Really?
countryside. Oh my gosh.
yeah, I would love to see that stuff. Like, just I don't know, old school Japan is just amazing. It's gorgeous.
Those
Gorgeous.
Japanese blossom trees.
Mhm,
Blossom
he's got a lot of
trees. I
those.
even love their houses, the way that like their huts and everything that they used to live in. I love all their. I like everything about it. I love that you don't wear your shoes in the homes, like,
Mhm.
and you sit on the floor to eat dinner and around a table. I love their paper doors, everything. I love everything about it. I think it's
I don't think
gorgeous.
they'd last for people like us. Though.
The fuck
like,
no,
God,
no.
I'd go
No,
through
my
one of those
kid-
paper doors.
my
day
kids
one.
would have that
But
place.
that's what I
torn
love
up.
about the.
Day
That's what I love
one.
about-
It
that's
would
what
be
I-
me. It wouldn't even be the kids. I would be like, ah.
Well, it's funny because in the first episode, dude goes to open the door and he puts his hand through. He's like, "Shit!" He's like, "What the
that
hell?
would be me.
How do you
I would
open
try
this?"
to push the door.
So, 'cause
instead
they
of
slide
sliding
open,
it,
yeah. So, but like, I just love everything about it. I love the way it looks. And the reason why they're like, because the Japanese are so reserved and subtle, and
Yeah.
they're how do you put it? Disciplined, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're not hyper and obnoxious like Americans are.
Mellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very mellow, and that's just the way they
Take
are.
your
and
time
they-
for perfection.
perfection. Not only perfection, but like respect. They have a
Yeah.
lot of respect for
Respectful.
one
Mhm.
another, and
Well, respect there
They
is
have a lot of
very,
morals.
very like high up there. You know
oh
what I mean?
yeah,
It's-
very much. This is why you always bow. You never
Yeah.
shake hands. You never like what's up. You know what I mean? Like you don't do that.
No.
You bow, and because that's a sign
Not
of respect.
unless you're a Tokyo gangster.
I'm pretty sure they'll.
I don't think they'll like that too much.
No.
No.
Anyway,
I've
but
seen 'em in
I think that's the
anime
one
before.
place that, like, even as a gangster, like, you're still probably gonna.
oh yeah,
Not-
like
Oh,
not
yeah.
the
animes.
Yakuza.
Oh, yeah.
even the Yakuza are like they bow to each other. Everything. They don't shake hands. They don't like pound their chests or nothing crazy like that. Like
Even the mafia here has a level of respect that you have
they
to.
have
you
to because even
follow.
still then the mafia and
You guys know
gangsters
about the
still have to
mafia?
operate. They have to operate within
I don't want to be
with
an
a
adult.
business
Who do you
ethic.
think half my
Yeah.
family? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I feel bad for
Anyway,
your husband.
that's all I watch. That's literally all I watch this
All
week.
right, Karen, what have you been watching?
I watched Johnny Dangerously, Kung Pao, All Jacked Up and Full of Worms.
Kung Pao. I love that
I was
movie.
gonna say what's Kung Pao about?
Jack watched it with us, and he's been quoting it ever since. Like, he sent me the other day like a gif of the guy in the shop that said, "That's a lot of nuts." Yeah,
Wait, which one's Kung Pao? Is that the one with?
that's the one that Josh absolutely hates. That's the one with the wee wee. Yeah, yeah. I told him when we went to see Theo for his
Is
birthday.
it? She only has one boob, right?
Yeah, the one. No, not her. The one.
Yeah, I know. I'm
boob,
just
yeah.
saying the lady,
Yeah,
one
the
lady
one-
has just one boob.
Yeah, she has just one boob.
and it's like in the center of. Her
I love how
chest.
she's like talking to him or whatever, and he's like, "I'm sorry," but I told Jack, I said, when you see your Uncle Eric, just walk up to him and go, wee yeah. We watched Fear, Megan is Missing, Cobweb, and Road Trip.
like Fear, the one with Mark Wahlberg.
I'd never seen it before.
You've never seen it?
Uh-uh.
Oh, it's so cheesy, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's cheesy goodness.
Yeah. Some of it, I guess, but like, I guess it was more like it was more like the 90s, like that
Oh, yeah,
90s,
very much.
very 90s.
Very 90s.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
I
terrible.
listened to a podcast and they were like, "This is the ultimate dad movie."
Mhm.
Because the dad is essentially like, "Don't do this," and it's essentially him saying, "I'm looking out for you. I'm the good guy here," and that by the end he ends up being like super dad. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like so.
But it's kind of realistic though, like how he
Other
is.
than the fact that he threw him out of a window and he flew 30 feet, like
Yeah, that part no, but I'm just saying like even that part was sort of realistic in the way that it happened because it was almost by accident. Like, because he was coming at him and he moved out of the way and just kind of shoved him. And then, like, when he went out the window, he kind of looked at her like, oh, shit. You know, like, he didn't mean to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Some of that stuff I felt like was really portrayed well, but it is over the top 90s.
it's very over
Yeah.
the top 90s.
And that's it. That's all we watched.
All right, Karen, let's go.
Oh, they
Well-
referred to it as dad porn. Dad porn.
Eric, you're up.
Yeah. I'll
So-
give it that, yeah.
Weren't
I
we
watch-
just talking about porn?
Not real porn.
No.
Yeah, I don't think there's any dads jerking it to that movie or anything, but
Well, it does have Reese Witherspoon in it. Just saying.
yeah, very young.
Okay,
Reese
Eric, go
Witherspoon.
ahead. Your turn.
So I watched Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Yep.
And then I watched Planet of the Apes. Just all over.
Mark Wahlberg all over again.
He likes apes.
Well, I don't know. I was in the mood for the Planet of the Apes kind of stuff this weekend, apparently. And then
I might drink this whole bottle before the end.
It looks like it.
then I watched what the hell
It's
else
been a
did I
rough
watch?
couple of days. It has.
Been kind of into that that Last Airbender show.
I haven't even
the
watched it
live
yet.
action
Yeah,
one?
the live action one.
Is it like okay? Are they?
Yeah,
They're doing that
I-
because they did it with One Piece and One Piece.
I'm in the
takes a
fourth
while, right?
episode of it, and so far I'm enjoying it. So,
Yeah.
I heard it's getting decent reviews.
and then what else did I watch this weekend? There's something else I had. I gotta go back here and on Max. Revisit what I watched.
You do you, boo.
Yeah, you do you, boo.
Trying. If it pops up.
You know you wear that
Dune.
shirt a
That's
lot?
what it was. Dune. Yeah, I like this shirt.
You wear it like every day.
No.
You watched the first Dune?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, I watched it a while back. I just couldn't remember it.
I can't wait to see the second one.
I can't get into those movies.
Doom.
I
Dune.
can't.
Really?
Dune.
I can't.
Yeah.
Did
Oh,
you watch
like
the first
one
one?
that's
I
has
tried.
Zendaya in it.
Yeah.
The
It's
new
good.
one or the old?
I really tried.
The
Is there
first
another
one.
I don't know. I just can't get into them.
Zendaya's in the first one too,
Yeah.
and they're coming out with the second one.
Maybe I should try again.
They're just in a Dune, aren't they?
Well, there's the original Dune, which is like made in the 80s,
Yeah.
Oh.
and then
It
this
didn't age
one.
very well.
No.
Mm,
But the new one's really good. And I'm hoping the second one's just as good. Because I really liked the first one. I thought it was a pretty good movie. Just overall, it was just like
What was it
aesthetically, it was good.
Yes.
What was it about?
Well, some people refer to it as Star Wars for adults, which is a dumb comparison
Yeah, it
because
is.
it's nothing like Star Wars.
what, isn't Star Wars for adults?
The only
I
thing
guess.
like
It can be
comparable,
for kids too.
Well,
though.
it can be, yeah, but
the only thing comparable in this is the way they talk about spice.
Yeah, spice is like their main import, export, whatever.
Yeah.
I watched enough of
Um,
it to know like, what
yeah,
it's about.
and there's a whole planet of it. So like, I don't know what the fuck. Like it pretty much like this house that, this rich house essentially, is essentially dethroned, quote unquote, and the boy and his mom go into hiding on this planet where they harvest the spice, and they get involved with the indigenous people there. Blah blah blah. Yeah, so they have to fight back against this other. I don't think they're human. I think they're. I don't know what the fuck they are. They're humanoid,
Yeah.
sort of, but like, it's good. I don't know. I do need to go back and want to rewatch the first one because it's kind of like it's a lot to take in.
I read that the remake was a little bit or a lot more true to the source material.
It
I don't know.
might
I
be.
don't know how true that is. I read it somewhere that it was a little bit more true to the source material than the one that was in the 80s.
Is that everything you watched?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. Would you guys watch and recommend? Dad?
Wait a second.
Wait, hold on now. What are you
What?
talking about?
Did she go yet?
Yeah, what'd you
Oh.
watch?
The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
That's it.
I've been busy.
Okay,
Well, you didn't invite her to watch the other stuff with you, so
because she was at work.
she probably would have skipped.
No, I don't think she would have. It's not a very good work ethic if you do.
She likes that money.
Why aren't you coming into work? My dad's gonna watch Resident Alien, and I need to watch it too. Isn't it on streaming? So
So
That doesn't mean any
Anyways.
time. My dad wants to watch it now.
Yeah, that's everything I watched. Just that. I watched probably an episode of The 100, but I don't really care right now. So.
all right.
Oh,
Sorry, were you starring in it?
no,
Oh, okay.
not this week.
Oh, I'll be watching next week then.
All right. Well, let's get into the movie then.
Let's talk about the movie.
No, you have to do would you watch and would you recommend.
We
no, that's
are.
after we.
That's-
that's when we talked
After
about
the
the
plot.
movie.
That's what I said.
She gives a synopsis, then we get into
Yeah.
what would
So
you.
let's
Yeah,
get
because we
into
don't
the
know what
movie.
we don't know what
Plot
we would.
synopsis,
yeah,
please, Karen.
sure.
Let's talk about the movie.
All right, Alien Cubed. After that's what it is, Alien Cubed.
No.
Alien to the third
I was
power.
like, what? I don't pay attention.
After escaping with Newt and Hicks from the alien planet, Ripley crash lands on Florina 161, a prison planet and host to a correctional facility. Unfortunately, although Newt and Hicks do not survive the crash, bullshit, a more unwelcome visitor does. The prison does not allow weapons of any kind, and with aid being a long time away, the prisoners must simply survive in any way they can. 2 hours and 25 minutes, rated R. Ripley is Sigourney Weaver. We all know that.
Why
Charles
is it
S.
rated R?
Because there's violence and horror and,
And
cussing.
possible rape.
Well,
Almost.
attempted rape.
Implied.
Almost.
Oh, I guess so.
Charles S. Dutton as Dylan, Charles Dance as Clemens, and Lance Henriksen as Bishop 2. Oh, that's as far as I'm going. I don't know why Lance Henriksen's got like fourth billing. He was in it for like 5 seconds.
True.
That's it.
All right. Would you
Would
watch?
you watch and would you recommend?
Oh, I think we're gonna have a
No, you go
fist
ahead.
fight.
Would you watch and recommend?
Fuck me up.
Hear that? I think God's telling me to stop.
Would you watch? Would you recommend, Madison?
I probably want to watch it again, but if you watch the second one, then you probably need to watch the third one to know what happens. Even though I think what happens is completely stupid, but whatever.
For me, I think that you don't have to watch the third one. You don't have to watch the fourth one either. If you want to stop at the second one and be happy with the outcome of that movie, then do that. Or if you want to, if you're a completionist like the rest of us, then go ahead and watch it because
You must.
you're just gonna be disappointed.
Bring a friend. If you watch it with a friend, then maybe like
Yeah.
you guys can laugh together and
Pull some
it'll make
Beavis
it
and
better.
Butthead.
I tell you to get high before you watch it, but you'd probably just fall asleep.
Maybe not if you take shrooms.
No, that'd be bad.
No.
I think that would be a bad idea.
That'd be a bad idea. I think that.
Okay,
Well,
get your buddy to take shrooms. You just sit there and watch it.
oh my god!
You just watch your buddy.
Yeah, you
instead of
watch your
watching the
buddy.
movie.
You take your
Exactly.
shrooms and you watch your buddy, so you can trip off
They're
of
like-
his trip.
And you're just like,
Yeah?
You'd be like
your
that.
faces are
Be
funny.
like that
Yo,
boxing
what do you see,
referee.
buddy? What do you see? What's going on?
What
but
is it?
for
What does
me,
it look
I don't
like?
know. I guess I would recommend. I don't know. It's
Draw
a
me a
light
picture.
recommend for me.
It's by your foot.
Draw me a picture.
It's a light recommend for me. I don't really care if you watch it or not. I don't really. Apparently, my because I have the whole movie collection on Blu-ray, and it comes in. I got the box set or
that's what
whatever,
we have too.
and
The
my
quadrilogy or whatever.
yeah,
It is.
all four of them are in it, plus all the like featurette stuff.
Mhm.
And I put it in the PS5 to play it, and it wouldn't play. Apparently, it was like, "No, we don't like this movie." So,
Fuck
we had
that
to watch
movie
it
in
on
particular.
Hulu. So I was like, "Well, fuck!" So we watched it on Hulu
I
instead.
was gonna say,
So
I
I'm
saw
the only
disc
one that
setting
watched-
Out, but I
Yeah.
realized that you had
I'm
to,
the only one
like,
that watched the
click play.
assembly cut.
The
Yeah.
what?
The assembly cut.
What's that?
The one that's on the quadrilogy.
Apparently, because I couldn't, it wouldn't play.
Yeah,
for
I watched it.
shit.
I watched
It would
Hulu.
start playing and then it would stop. I was like, and I looked at the disc like, "You're not scratched. What's the deal?" I just don't think my PlayStation liked it.
Probably not.
So
Hated
Got
that
sick
movie.
and nauseous every time you
Yeah.
put it in there.
all
No,
don't blame him.
right, Karen.
I wish I didn't watch it. Only because I don't like that Hicks and Newt died, and well, I don't like that they died the way they died.
There's a few reasons not to like this movie.
But that's, I guess, neither here nor there. If you're one of those people that has to finish a series or watch a whole series, I would have to finish a series like this, so I would watch all four. If you're one of those people,
Because you kind
Watch
of
it.
can't miss this movie.
yeah, I don't like it. So I probably wouldn't watch it again.
There's a few reasons.
I
don't
probably
like it.
will forget though at some point. And I'll be like, hey, what happened in 3?
Yeah, like why do people
Why-
hate
why
three?
Yeah,
so
why do
much?
people? Because just like this time, I'm like, I don't even remember 3.
Why
Yeah.
What's
do
up
we
with
do it again?
3? The only thing I remembered was that Newton Hicks died.
Mhm.
I just remember that they
remember
died
quite a
right
few
at the
things
beginning.
from it, but
I know that's
See?
why I kept because you were talking about Newton Hicks and loving him so much in the second one. I'm like, I'm sorry.
I know they started the third one. I was like, who is that again?
yeah, they opened it on a shitty note. Like,
Yeah,
And Madison's like, wait, they're dead? I was like, yeah, they died.
Like,
And
why?
the unceremonious way.
Yeah.
That's anyway. We'll get into it.
You just see their mangled bodies. You're like,
I'm like, really?
what? They
Yeah,
were fine.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah, the
Fuck.
fact, like, yeah.
Fuck
All right,
no.
what about you, Eric?
No, I won't watch it again. Would I recommend? Obviously, if you are the type of person that wants to watch the Aliens
Yeah.
movies, yes, watch it. But I'm not going to sit there and say, yeah, I enjoy it. No, I think we all feel the same way.
I think it's a very, very, very light recommend.
Yeah,
Really, it's the only reason you should watch it is if you're a completionist.
If
you're
you want to
somebody-
watch the series.
Well,
you
yeah,
need to
if you
this
want to
one.
watch the series,
if
Then
you
you
want to
should
talk
watch
about aliens, you should watch it at least.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get into the movie itself and get through the plot. You read it, or do you want me to read it?
I'll read it. It'll keep me quiet.
my very first one was sorry, Madison. If I had it my way, it would have ended at Aliens.
You guys ready?
hmm
You
No,
guys
you
had
gotta watch it
recommends?
for 4.
Notes.
Huh?
You gotta watch it for 4.
I mean,
If you want to,
I have to watch 4 again, and I'm gonna go into it with
Or-
an open mind. I just remember watching 4 and the Ripley thing and being like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
it is
like
it is
that-
kind of a cop out, but anything to get Sigourney Weaver back,
Yeah, they brought
So.
Sigourney Weaver.
and she's more badass than ever in the fourth
Yeah.
one. So
Karen's like, whatever, you guys.
I'll go into it with
suck.
an open mind. I just remember thinking, Jesus fucking Christ.
right, right.
All right. Alien 3. They should have named it Alienses.
Aliens is.
Yeah. Aliens.
And the next one could be Aliens.
Yeah, they Aliens. Resurrected.
Triple S.
That would make it a lot more fun.
It would be. I'd like
If
it.
they
then.
named this one Aliens is, I'd be like, dude,
This is the best one.
movie title
Hands
ever.
down.
It would automatically be an 8 at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
At
Just
least
on
an
the
8.
title
Just because of
alone.
the title, like it's an 8 because it's Aliens is.
But you'd have to start knocking off points.
See, they
throughout
should
the
have
movie,
hired
though.
me, guys.
Well, no, I would
got
not. Like all the
ideas.
points are already deducted, but it still gets an
Well,
8
you'd
for the name.
you'd start at a 15
Yeah, because of the
the
name.
because of the title,
name.
It just goes down to 8.
and then it goes down to 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end, it's an 8, like because it's Aliens is.
8 is a 0.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
All right. Following events on level 426, LV 426, the Colonial Marine starship USS
Saluko.
Soluco is on its way back to Earth. However, a stowaway facehugger triggers a fire on board, leading the ship to eject the slumbering Ripley, Newt, Corporal Hicks, and the
Hey, kids, kids!
damaged android
I will turn this
Bishop.
motherfucker around.
You can review the footage. I so did.
I mean,
I know. I saw.
And an
you
escape
could
pod.
try to turn it.
The pod crash lands on Fiorina. Sure.
I think
Yeah.
it's Florina.
I don't know.
There's
Florina
There's an
161.
I.
I think it's Florina. That's how I said.
Oh. Florina, aka Fury 161. A barren world home to a foundry facility and penal colony inhabited
Penal.
by all male inmates. The prisoners recover the pod, although the prison dog is attacked by a facehugger hiding in the wreckage. Ripley is taken to the infirmary and tended to by Clemens. Clemens is the guy, right?
Yeah, he's he was the bad guy from
Benedict.
Yeah, he was Benedict from Last Action Hero.
I think this is the only
So
movie
is
I've ever
he?
seen where he was a good guy.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I
because I'm
didn't
like, he's got to be a
recognize
bad guy in this, right? He's not. He's actually the best person in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
him.
Then he
just-
bites it midway through.
Right.
I'm
he
so- I wanna, we'll get there because that pissed me off.
Mhm.
If anybody deserved to live, it was that guy.
Mhm.
and Ripley.
Well, yeah, of course, but
All right. The prison.
she had
doctor.
sex, so she had to die. That was
That's
the
usually
old,
how it goes.
those were
yeah.
old
She had a
movie rules.
daughter,
she didn't
though.
have. She didn't have sex. Well, that was before.
That's true.
So she didn't have sex in the first 2 movies. She lived. The third one, she bangs a dude, a ginger at that,
Oh.
and
Took her soul.
yeah,
Took her soul.
yep. So what happened?
Wow.
Noticed she didn't realize she had that thing inside of her until she banged a Ginger.
No, Jesus.
Whoa.
I think
That's
he
the
put it
fact.
in her
That's so true. Skeet, that's what
because
I
I've got
too.
questions about how she has that
That's
thing
how
in
they
her to
steal
begin
the
with.
soul.
I have lots of
She
questions
said
about
it was
that.
whenever she was in the pod.
And
Yeah, but
believe it or not, that's part of the bitching that most people have, because like, how the fuck did she wash up on shore like that, stuck in that pod? And like, I don't know, there's a million questions about how that all went down, and I got a lot of it in trivia
You know,
because
if-
I was confused as fuck.
You know what they should have done is they should have made this movie in the Resurrection, instead of having her clone, they just picked her up in space, and Resurrection was the third movie. You know what I mean?
Well, Sigourney
If they
Weaver
would have
wanted
done that, I think it would have been a lot better.
So- Sigourney Weaver
just
wanted-
completely bypassed.
Yeah,
this movie.
Yeah.
completely
well,
bypassed this one.
There's some things to be said about this movie. I loved the ending. I loved that she sacrificed herself. I loved the way that was shot. There's some poetic like justice there. There's
I
a lot
believe
of
that, yeah.
beauty in that.
Yeah,
I just thought of
And
Terminator 2 at that point.
she wanted, well, yeah, she wanted
I've never seen it.
to.
Terminator 2?
I've been waiting.
Oh,
Oh.
she's waiting to pull up from the
she
box.
wanted to. She wanted to die. She wanted Ripley to die because, like, she wanted 3 movies and that was it. So then why come back for a 4th? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just end it. But
Maybe
anyway,
she wanted more
Maybe
money.
she was disappointed at the outcome and what people thought of the third one. So she's like,
she doesn't
well,
seem like to me to be the type that would give a shit.
I don't know. Not Ripley. Sigourney Weaver.
We're still good.
Sigourney Weaver really cares about her fans and what they have to say about what she does. She doesn't seem like a bitchy person. She seems like a.
You want to
nice
know what
lady.
I think? And this isn't something I put in trivia, but in the last 3 movies, there's been something that's been in trivia 3 different times, and I didn't put it in because each time it grosses me out. From the beginning of this series to the end, she's had 3 goals. She wants to not shoot a gun, so she got her wish in the first one and the third one. She wants to, what was the third one? I don't remember all of them, but the one that really grosses me out, she wants to fuck an alien.
What?
She want a fucking alien?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
So, I don't want to say it because of one person, but so I think that's why she came back.
Still heard
I didn't.
you.
She didn't fucking alien in the 4th one.
Yes, she did.
No, she didn't.
Then why does it say she did?
She didn't. She
I
didn't bang an
don't
alien in the
remember that
4th
at
one,
all.
dude.
Karen's like, hold on now.
She didn't fucking alien in the
The
4th
only
one.
reason why they're saying that is because
never seen the fourth
because
one?
the
I
fourth
have seen
one,
the 4th one. Then why does it say that she did?
She didn't fucking alien. I'm not going to give anything away about the 4th one, but she didn't fucking alien.
Yeah, I mean, saying what
That's what
the
it said.
alien that
Well-
everybody's saying the reason why she did is because of that alien, but
Well, no,
No,
That's not how it
not in
was.
the 3rd one.
in the 4th one.
no, I'm
yeah.
talking about the fourth one.
Yeah. We're not. Wait, this ain't about the 4th one. This is about the 3rd one.
I'm just saying that's the whole thing with the Alien series was that she had 3 goals with it.
And one of them was the fucking alien.
One of them was to fuck an alien.
Well, she didn't fucking alien in the 4th one. She had.
Yeah, I
she
don't
was-
recall that at all.
She was cloned from alien DNA.
Yeah, and she
But-
had a alien.
Offspring,
Yeah.
essentially. But anyway,
Okay.
maybe it was implied that she banged an alien, but that's not.
That's
couldn't
not
be-
how it went down. No.
That's not how it went down in the movie or anything. She didn't get it on with an alien.
No.
Okay.
I mean, unless you consider the guy in the 3rd one an alien, because technically he wasn't from Earth. Well, he was from Earth, but he wasn't on Earth.
I can only say.
I mean, he was a ginger.
It
Maybe he was an alien.
it said that in all 3 that I've done, and I've kept it out of them because I felt like that was just too much.
I want a fucking alien.
It's too much for me.
Done deal.
It's too
Done.
much. It's too much for
Sold.
everyone.
She just liked the mouth.
It's fucked up. Shit. All right, let's move on.
That's a little sharp.
Okay, when she wakes, she is horrified to learn that she's the only survivor of the crash. She immediately suspects a xenomorph may have... Xenomorph?
Yeah.
Xenomorph. Yeah.
Xenomorph may have played a part in her arrival on Fiorina?
Fiorina.
161. I'm just gonna call it Fury, okay?
Just call it 161.
Okay, arrival on 161 and request Clemens perform an autopsy on Newt, fearing the little girl is carrying a chest burst.
So that's kind of like kicking you in the face. Like, all right, so the little girl's dead, right? Well, now we're going to perform a fucking autopsy that takes 10 minutes in the movie. So
Just to
Little
throw
girl.
it
just
in
to
the,
throw it in your face and let you know that she's really fucking dead.
Well, just to throw her in the fire. Why wouldn't you just throw her in the fire?
Yeah, or that, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand. If we were just gonna cremate
If you're
them
just
anyway,
going to cremate her anyway.
If we
Because
were
it's
just
all
gonna-
about shock value. Oh, we got to open up this little girl. Not Hicks, though. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if we were just gonna throw them in the fire anyway, we're not gonna do our due diligence by doing another autopsy. Why do it at all? Just fucking throw them in the fire.
did this guy just start up his fucking rice burner next door?
Sounds like it.
This guy and his fucking cars, man.
Is that your new neighbor?
Yeah.
What a nice
He's
guy.
really noisy. Like, he'll be quiet for a long time, and then he'll randomly get loud.
Did he take over your hated neighbors?
No.
No. Oh.
No. We still hate them. They're still here.
I didn't know if he just like bought their house or
They still hate us, too. So
He
it's
left.
all good.
Okay. Her concerns prove unfounded, and Clemens confirms Newt simply drowned in the crash. Drowned in what? I didn't catch...
See, that's what I also don't understand that, because apparently what happened was she was still in cryo sleep, and I assume that she drowned in the ocean because her pod was open. But answer me this: so if her
Riddle me this.
yeah, if her
Okay.
pod's open and she drowned, okay, I believe you.
No, I'm just saying that's what it says in all three.
Well, I guess we'll find out for real.
Yeah,
when
when
It's
we
watch
watch
weird. That's why I kept it out.
Yeah, I mean,
She said...
It's gross.
anyway.
But I forgot the third one. So it's not handle a weapon, make love to an alien, and die.
Okay,
So she got to die.
she had to die and not
And
handle
brought
a
back.
weapon. So anyway, so Newt essentially drowns in the ocean, but so one thing that bothers me is there's still blood everywhere, and all these things, these mechanical things, and the things still work. Also, the face hugger is still in the thing,
It's alive.
and it's alive, and I mean I get that it could probably survive
Yeah,
in
it don't
water.
need oxygen.
Yeah, it doesn't need oxygen, but you think maybe it wash out, or it was just, I don't know. Maybe I
Probably
guess
just
it's
hold-
not
held on.
completely.
I have a question. If she's carrying the queen,
Yeah, she's carrying the queen.
and the queen is what makes them capable of reproduction.
Yeah.
Creating the
Yeah,
face
yeah.
huggers. So where did the alien come from that came out of what? Well, to you guys it was a dog, but
was
to
a
me it was
dog.
an ox.
An
so-
ox.
Yeah, it was originally supposed to be an ox, and it's a whole thing. I'm not getting into
You watched
all
a
of
different
that.
version then?
Yeah, I watched the assembly cut. The assembly cut is the director's cut. So, anyway, it came out of a dog or an ox, depending on what you watched. So, to me, if it can just reproduce without needing a face hugger, then why do we need the queen?
Did it reproduce?
No, it didn't reproduce. The egg was already on the pod
Yeah.
with them.
With the face
Yes,
hugger
they
in it.
showed the
Yeah.
egg.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, where did it come from? Because where exactly did
But the face hugger
the face
planted-
hugger
planted
itself on the ox or the dog, whichever you watch.
No, it planted the queen inside of her.
See
How?
how though? Because she was still inside her
Oh,
pod.
I get what you're
It broke
saying
into the
now.
pod. That's the
Then
whole
why didn't
thing.
she drown?
That's
I
my
see what
point.
she's
There's
saying,
all
though.
kinds of inconsistencies
Plot
here.
holes.
So here's the thing. It planted the queen inside of her. That's where that came from.
But it was still alive though.
Yeah,
It was
usually
able to
face
plant
huggers,
the queen. And
And
then it
then-
was able to attach itself to a dog
Another-
or an ox.
But in all of the other ones, once it plants once,
exactly,
it's dead.
that's what I'm
Right.
saying.
Yeah.
So that's what my point is.
Yeah.
Is that why do we need a queen if the face huggers can just go around fucking reproducing?
But my other question is, so they don't show her pod being broke into.
Mm-hmm.
Her pod is completely sealed.
Mm-hmm.
Like whenever I saw her in her pod, it was completely sealed up. There
Yeah.
was no hole in it.
We don't see her pod all the way
Yeah,
though. You
we do.
only you
We-
see
You see it from the side, and she's still alive, but there's no hole in it.
But she would have checked hers too, and if she would have found
And she
one-
would have seen that, like
you
her
only
pod
see,
was
you only
busted
see the
into.
one pod that she sits in long enough to get a scan.
No,
she
because at the
herself
beginning, whenever they're like, "Oh, we got a live one over here," and they show her inside her pod, and
Completely
there's
sealed
nothing
up.
wrong with it, completely sealed
Mhm.
up.
They see her on the beach. She's washed out on the beach. They said we got a live one. She's on the beach.
Inside the whole thing.
Well, no way.
No,
you guys
because
you
she's
guys
inside-
watched a different version than
Yeah,
me.
because one we watched is she's inside the lifeboat essentially,
Yeah.
and the three pods are in there with Hicks, Newt, and her.
Yeah,
Hicks
Not the
and
version I
Newt's
saw.
are broken open, but not hers.
not the version I saw. The version I saw, she would just washes up on the beach.
So is her pod is so they don't even show her thing.
The only two that are in the pods is Hicks and.
but
Newt.
she's out of the pod.
She's out of the pod.
and washes up on the
Washes
beach.
up on the beach.
Okay, so
What the
what
fuck?
the hell was the robot's name again?
Bishop.
Bishop. So maybe Bishop, because he was under instructions from Earth or whatever the business.
There's
So he may have switched Ripley's pod or Ripley from her pod to Newt's pod, and that's how Newt drowned, because the pod that she was in that the crawler
Then they
got
should have
into.
said that.
That would make any sense because he was helping them get off the planet, and he was essentially a good guy.
Yeah, but he was still
Also-
under directions from Earth to keep her alive.
there's a couple of fan theories about number one, how did the egg get on board?
Yeah, that's another.
Because
thing.
at the end of Aliens, there was this huge, like, essentially seal proof. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way that anything could have gotten on the
well, not to
Sokka.
mention, not only would nothing have gotten on it, but before she even goes to sleep, she's gonna see a fucking egg.
Mhm.
Well, so here's the thing. So there's two fan theories. One is that the queen snuck one on somehow before, but that's pretty much null and void because, like, how? Right?
How and
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 second-
she would see it before she went to sleep.
The second fan theory is Bishop. Like Eric said, Bishop is still under the control of the company somehow or some way. But I cannot remember, but that one was also kind of nullified.
Couldn't be so because she not deactivated, but she essentially shut him down and put him to sleep too inside a pod. And also, he didn't have any fucking legs.
Yeah.
He
That's
just had
true.
his arms. That's it.
And that's exactly the whole thing is that there was really no time or way for Bishop to have done it. I think that was the whole nullify for that one.
yeah,
But-
because because it makes
Also,
no
Xenomorph
sense
did
because
it.
the queen
Huh?
literally
Unless a Xenomorph did it.
well, that's it. The only one that was left was the queen,
Right.
and
yeah.
Ripley pretty much at all times was between her and the Soloka.
Yeah,
the Soloka.
they only fought on the bay,
yeah.
in the bay area, and she killed her because she shot her out the fucking thing,
The air,
Yeah.
air
the airlock in
airlock.
the bay. Yeah,
She never even got on the ship.
yeah,
was
she
never
barely even got it on the ship. So
Yeah.
how the fuck is that egg there? So there's a lot of questions, especially at within the first 10 minutes of this movie. There's like 100 questions.
I put a bunch of stuff in trivia because I was so fucking confused about the
the
beginning
whole
part.
movie itself is a convoluted mess. Don't
Mhm.
get me wrong. The whole movie is a mess.
Well, and that's why they came up because like what's his face, the director for this,
What's his face?
yeah, the director anyway.
I
He
can't remember his name. He's a big director.
yeah, he's a
though.
big director now, but this was his first one, and he hated it. Like
I'm sure he did.
because there was so much push from the studio. That's why it's such a convoluted mess. He is the only director. I think I even put it in trilogy, or in the trivia, but trilogy. He is the only one that didn't come back for the quadrilogy to put his own
Spin on it.
director's cut
Probably
together.
because he was so frustrated. Because I'm sure that after what's his face did the second one, James Cameron did the second one, they were like, oh my god, this thing is a huge success.
Pretty much.
Because I'm sure that movie made the most out of any of them
hmm
Mhm.
and had the biggest return anyway. And and they were probably like, all right, we got ourselves a hit here.
Yeah,
Now
that's
we
pretty much how
really
it went
need
down,
to,
yeah.
we're going to have to put our hands
One
in on
up
this one to make sure that it's what we want so that we can make
The
another
very first thing that happened was that they had a release date before they even had a script.
Excuse me?
Yeah, what a mess.
Yeah,
What a
so he
huge
was doomed
fucking
from the
mess.
beginning.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Nevertheless, Ripley insists that the bodies are cremated. Despite resistance from the prison warden, Superintendent Andrews, the funeral goes ahead when Clemens covers for Ripley and claims there is a risk of communicable disease. During the service, unknown to the prison's inhabitants, a xenomorph.
Why
Yeah.
didn't she just tell him the truth?
I don't know. And
burst
she also
from the
blamed it on
prison
cholera.
dog.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why didn't she just tell him the truth?
They,
He didn't-
that's
they
I
may
mean,
not
I don't-
believed her.
I mean,
Maybe, but like,
I could. The only reason why I would think that she wouldn't tell the truth is because, for one, they're prisoners. They're gonna blame her to begin with. She
Mhm.
knows this. Second, also, she has to I'm sure that she also understands that like this is a Wayland Corporation facility, because if you notice, they're all wearing
Oh,
Wayland
yeah,
Corporation
yeah.
shirts, and
well,
so,
they all are. They all talk about the company.
exactly.
Yeah.
So she's gonna know that like she doesn't know who she could trust here, obviously.
Yeah, I guess she's filling out
So
the
you know what I mean?
situation
Like,
first.
yeah, she's trying to feel it out. I'm sure.
Yeah.
That, and also, could you imagine panic among 25 rapists, murderers?
But I'm
You know
just
what I
saying,
mean?
like Clemens. That's right. Right. That's Benedict's name, right?
Yeah.
Clemens.
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
You would think, based on what he's shown her, maybe she could have been
More
honest
trusting
with him. At
yeah.
least.
I mean, she does bang him, so
Yeah, it takes a while though too, a little bit.
She's only supposed to be there for a week. How did her eye heal that fast?
That does. Your eyes and your tongue are the two
But like
fastest
even
healing
like the
organs
bruise
in your
around
body.
her face and everything.
it did heal up pretty fast.
Movie magic.
It didn't even seem like a week either. It seemed like it
Mm-mm.
just flew by.
It
And they're like,
wasn't a
we'll be
week.
there in 2 minutes
It
or 2
wasn't a
hours.
week. It wasn't a week. Remember? Well, I don't know, because again, I watched a different version than you guys. It wasn't a week, because there's one scene or one line. One of the guys says to her, he says it usually takes a week.
Yeah, that's what he
Right.
said.
Yeah, he said it usually takes a week, but we've never had
Yeah,
them
okay.
trying to get here.
Yeah, that's
we've never
right.
had an expedited rescue coming.
And they
So
pretty
I
much
don't
said
know-
you seem pretty important.
Yeah, he
apparently.
said we don't know how long it's going to take them since we've never had an expedited.
Yeah, they were like,
rescue.
and I
Like
think one of
3
them even
days.
said like they really
want to get
want
here.
you.
So yeah, he said they really want to get here. So I don't know. It could be 3 days, could be 4 days. So it definitely wasn't a week.
No.
I think we saw that part.
And then it was like, oh, we'll be there in 2 hours. Like, what the fuck? That was fast.
Yeah. So I think it was probably more like three
Three
days.
or
It felt
4
like more like
days,
3
yeah, 3
days.
days.
But yeah.
All right. The creature soon begins a killing spree, picking off several isolated prisoners. One such attack is witnessed by the unstable inmate Golik.
Yeah.
Almost sounds like Golem. It's weird.
He was interesting.
You and this fucking Lord of the Rings.
It's your fault. Blame you.
It is
I
your
mean, I'm
fault. I
proud.
wasn't even gonna watch
I'm
it.
proud, but also annoyed.
I wasn't even gonna watch it.
And now she is.
And then you were like, just come and sit down and watch it. I was like, I was just gonna be on my own little happy way, hating it for the rest of my life.
Now she's got a Lord of the Rings magic starter deck.
I do. And I send my regards to my Uncle Wes for giving me 3 cards. Anyways, however, Andrews dismisses his traumatized claims that a dragon was responsible and instead lays blame on Golem,
I love that he says it's his dragon.
a convicted serial killer. It does look like a dragon.
It's kind of good though, because to a crazy guy, I bet it did look like a dragon.
Yeah, exactly.
To anybody, it would look like a dragon. If I saw it, I'd be like, ooh,
Dragon face?
dragon.
Mm-mm. No, I'd be like, "Fuck you! I don't
You know,
care what
I
that
don't know
is.
what the
I'm
fuck
out.
You are, and I'm out.
Yeah.
Dripping KY jelly all over the place. And your
See-
mouth does this thing. That's rapey.
Bye.
Seeking confirmation of her fears, Ripley recovers and reactivates the remains of Bishop.
Before she even plugged him in, like when she plugged him in and his eyes opened, before he even started talking, I even wrote it down. Like after she plugs him in and turns it back on. It's like, ouch, 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 turn it back off, turn it back
Oh,
off.
shit,
like, dude, I know he's an android.
I love that. I
but-
love the first thing he says is, "My legs hurt.
Yeah, yeah,
How you feeling?
My legs hurt."
yeah. He's like,
Could-
it's dark
I
here.
couldn't
Like,
tell if
oh
he
my
was
god,
actually
turn
being
it off, you bitch. I mean, I get that you need information, but fuck.
She's never cared for droids anyway.
I know, but
So-
Bishop.
I know, I love Bishop.
Right.
Until well, we'll get there, but like
Yeah.
until his like
his
maker comes in
yeah,
at
his
the end, you're
maker.
like, holy shit! Like, what
You're
a dick!
douche.
What a dick!
Um.
Well, anybody that works for the company is that high ranking. They're
Yeah.
all dicks.
Oh yeah.
He
Mhm.
verifies that there was a xenomorph on the
Suluco.
Suluco, and that it came with them to Fiorina.
161
Oh
or
yeah.
whatever it is.
161 in the escape pod. Ripley takes the information to Andrews, insisting they have to hunt the creature down. He reveals that the facility has no weapons before rejecting her story. Instead, blaming the recent deaths on unrest
wanna
amongst
say
the
this,
inmates
like-
caused by her arrival.
So I just
Dude.
want to say this one thing. Like, I don't care if
You can make.
you can't take her
weapons.
seriously. Yeah, I don't care if you take her seriously or not. What the fuck else do you have to do? Like, there are 25 of you on an abandoned lead mining or lead foundry planet or whatever. Like, go just humor her for
At
a
least
couple
for
of
the
days.
3
Look
days
for
that
an
she's
alien.
there.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
humor.
here's my thing. Like, he didn't believe her, right? He's all like running his mouth and saying, you know, it's all her fault, blah blah blah, which is a trope all on its own. I'm not going into that, but why would she lie? Number one, right? Number two, the company wants her bad, and you know that. So ask yourself some fucking questions. Obviously, they don't want her because she's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't want her for a good looks. Ask her mom.
Yeah, no shit.
Oh
I'm just
my
saying,
God.
like, they don't want her because
That's
she's
foul.
crazy. They don't care about crazy people.
Yeah.
So ask yourself some fucking questions, you dipshit. Why do you think they want her? It's
Apparently
not because
she knows
she's-
some shit.
Yeah, apparently she knows something, dude. So maybe you want to ask yourself a few questions instead of saying, "Oh, you're crazy, you're
Yeah.
crazy." Fucking listen to her.
My other question is, how long was she? Do you think she was floating in space?
Mm.
Because I know in the first, from the first to the second one was like 50 some years.
So it's supposed to have been like less than a week. Well, yeah, it'd have to be. It'd have to be because those facehuggers don't have a very long
Incubation.
This one did.
incubation. Yeah.
This one.
I didn't think
Very
it
long
mattered. I
life,
thought
so-
they just survived. I guess not.
No,
huh?
they don't because the first guy, what the guy in the very first one when he got face hugged and then like started eating and then the thing fucking jumped
Yeah,
out.
but
That was like a matter of like a day and a half. Or
yeah, but she
whatever.
was also in cryostasis.
That won't matter
I don't think that matters.
Why
Because
wouldn't
once
it?
you're asleep,
because it's
well,
just it's incubating in your body.
True, I guess.
It doesn't matter. The incubation period isn't going to change. All it needs is your body to incubate. It's growing because of
I knew
you.
it wasn't long because
Yeah, it's less than a week. I know that because
it's just
it-
weird because I'm like because it's a long trip back to. You would think it would be a long fucking trip back to Earth.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
It is, but it's not to that whatever that foundry planet or whatever is.
yeah,
but-
wherever that fucking planet is, I don't care how far or how close it is to Earth. It ain't taking no week to get there. It's taking a lot longer than that.
Fuck
No,
yeah,
not
it
with
is.
their technology. I
Maybe
guess.
I guess they better be traveling at
Well,
fucking
I mean,
light
look
speed.
at the things that they've done. I mean, the technology that they have.
That's true, I guess.
I
yeah.
mean-
they're literally terraforming planets.
Yeah.
So
So basically, like, yeah, it was less than a week. I know that because it said it
Move
in
magic.
something I read. Yeah, no, it's less than a week.
Move magic.
Yeah.
okay,
The
I'll take your
first-
word for it. I believe that it's probably less than a week. It's just weird.
Yeah.
The first woman any of them have seen in years. He informs Ripley that a rescue ship is already on its way to recover her, sent by the Weyland Yutani Corporation. In the prison infirmary, Clemens is killed by the xenomorph in front of Ripley, which then mysteriously spares her. She runs to inform the others, only to witness the creature emerge from a vent overhead and drag Andrews away, with the superintendent's subordinate, Aaron, proving the ineffectual at leading the survivors, Ripley rallies the inmates and proposes that they use highly flammable toxic chemicals stored at the facility to spark a fire and drive the xenomorph into an unused nuclear waste storage tank. Wow, that was a lot. Say that 10 times fast.
So here's my question: they say that they don't have any weapons, but they're in a foundry. They can't make weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they got the fuel.
Mm-hmm.
They got the means.
I'm sure that because it's a prison, that whatever means they have to make weapons, they probably don't have access to. But I will say one thing that I found incredibly, I don't know what the right word is, but I found as I'm watching this, it was crazy to me that the most iconic scene out of this entire series comes from this movie.
Yeah, the one where she's in
like, and it comes at her.
Yeah.
Like that's
which
the
is
scene.
it's a good
It's
shot.
a beautiful shot. It's a great shot. That's why you can see that this is a great director. That he has the chops, and that's
Yeah.
why he's a good director to this day.
I think that don't get me wrong, some of the cinematic
Seven,
shots.
David Fincher. He did Seven.
Dave Fincher,
Yeah.
yeah. 7, which is probably one of his best
Yeah.
movies. But like, don't get me wrong, like the shots in this movie are great.
Oh,
I think
he did it. From
the
a
only
directing
thing,
perspective.
But one of the biggest things that I can't stand about this movie is the CG of the fucking alien.
Uh-huh.
It drives me nuts, man.
Would it surprise you to know that there is no CG? Because it surprised the shit out of me.
Excuse me?
There is none.
What is it like imposed? Like, is it like not CG, but it's
I don't
like,
remember. I found it out in trivia because I
it's
was like, I
probably
wrote
like
that down too. I'm
photoshopped,
like,
imposed imaging.
I wrote it down too. I'm like, the CG in this fucking movie, yeah, CG aliens suck. Should have been practical.
It's not. I know it's not CG.
It's
Because
not.
CG would look
It should have
even
been
worse
practical. It would've
for the
looked
time. But
really
like,
good.
I know what it was because like him on the ceiling, this and that. It was in him the way he moves. It was like they took this still image and like moved it and like and then imposed it into the film, like in post production, and it looks fucking terrible. It does. Like
Looks
in
like-
areas, like he looks like where like the whole movie is like a yellow or tan color. He's like a fucking green and black color, and it doesn't mesh well within.
Like especially
that
that one
and
part
it
where
doesn't
he's
even look like it just didn't age well. It just
No.
Yeah,
and
so-
especially
look
that
good.
part where the alien's like looking down. From
Yeah,
the tunnel,
exactly.
You can really tell that that's not.
Yeah.
So, contrary to popular belief, the movie contains very little computer-generated imagery, CGI. Most of the visual effects featuring the alien were done through a traditional process called optical compositing, where shots filmed with a miniature alien puppet were filmed against a
Exactly.
blue screen and then optically printed onto a negative background.
Like I just said.
Probably because of the rushed pace of post-production, several of these shots came out rather poorly with visible blue matte lines around the alien as a dead giveaway, causing many fans to complain of bad CGI. In truth, CGI was still in its infancy when the movie was made, and the few examples in the movie include the cracks appearing in the head of the alien during its death, shadows added to the alien puppet, and some alien
This
debris
fucking
in
guy.
outdoor scenes. That's what I was talking about, that there was very
Did
little
he just
CGI.
start it and then stop it?
no.
Yeah,
No,
he's
he
got
just got
to
back.
show off, man.
It
He
doesn't.
just- he
no,
just got
'cause
back.
he left. I'm pretty sure he just came back home.
No, because it just started.
Yeah. It started up and then it stopped.
And he shut. Knock it off.
He's so awesome. I wish I could be that badass.
Anyways, the prisoners are
Go smoke your
reluctantly.
bong, pothead.
I mean, my focus sounded a lot like
I
that,
wish I
but
could be that
That was
badass.
because it didn't have a muffler.
I wish I could
You know
have a
what?
rice
I
burner
wish
like
my
that.
car. I wish my car sounded like
Wing
that.
wing.
Wing,
It sounds like a
wing.
fucking moped.
I thought it was the boys on the go kart for a second.
Anyway,
The prisoners reluctantly agree to the plan, but the mixture is ignited prematurely when the creature attacks. Several inmates are killed in the resultant explosion and fire.
Things go boom.
Yeah. While the xenomorph escapes. So that was a failed attempt.
Not in my
waste
version.
of time, waste of everything, waste of
What was your
resources,
version?
really.
They get him in. No, they get the alien in there.
and where? Oh, in the.
Into the whatever it was. The
Piston? Is that what they called it?
No, well, I don't know what they called it, but it was for the
They like dropped
the
lead
nuclear
on them?
waste. That big.
Yeah,
Right,
in the
yeah.
nuclear
Oh, yeah,
waste
and then
The,
it
area.
pops out
they
of
got
the
it in
waste.
there.
Oh, did they?
hmm
Yeah,
But
in our
just
version they
didn't die.
didn't.
Yeah,
It
they.
just
I
did.
know. I know. In your version, they didn't. They get it in there, and then later that Gallic guy, they let the one guy lets him out of the infirmary, And the Gallic guy decides that since he got away from the alien the first time, him and the alien are friends, so he lets him out.
Oh.
And I assume the alien kills him.
Right away.
I guess they don't. I don't remember if they show him die in our
I don't
version.
remember him
I don't
seeing
remember
him
him
die
dying
in the
either.
first one, in our version.
I don't want to sound like a dick, but everybody in this movie looks the same because they're all white, bald guys.
Yeah, that Gallic
Yeah.
guy dies because he decides that him and the alien are friends, and he goes back and lets the alien out.
I don't remember seeing him die in our
They
version.
really do all look the same.
Fuck it, whatever. Like I said, this whole movie, like especially within like
just-
from the part that they start hatching up these plans until the end, it's just a fucking mess.
See, I go back and forth because like I know because I read different things about the other cut, so I know sort of what you guys watched. So like I kind of like the idea that they didn't get him in there because, you know, something happened and he didn't get in there, because that sort of makes a little more
Trial and
sense than
error.
them getting him in there.
And
And
there's
then
some-
one guy just goes, "Oh, he's
He's
my
my
friend.
friend,
I'm going to let him
though."
out," you know? That seems like such bullshit to me. Like they get him
Yeah.
in and it's like this airtight plan.
Yeah.
And then you kind of go, well, how's that going to work? We've got another hour to go. Like, what are we going to do? Just twiddle our thumbs until, you know, whatever happens? But no, the fucking Gallic guy gets, you know, out of the infirmary, and they're like, oh, yeah, we're just going to have him go and let him out. Like, I don't know. At the same time, though, it was kind of cool to see the plan come together and them get the alien in there. It was cool. And then at the same time...
But they needed a way to keep the movie going.
Yeah, so I don't know. I go back and forth like with either side, I guess, but I don't know.
They could have made it to where like maybe the xenomorph found a way out or something like that. You know what I
I
mean?
don't know. I wish that I wish that there could have been maybe a better plot point to get him out of there or get the alien out rather than just
Maybe
some
there was a
dude.
system malfunction and the doors
something-
open on their own.
something.
Something stupid.
I don't know, anything better than some dude just going, "Oh, he's my friend. I'm gonna let
Yeah,
him
he's
out."
my friend. He wants to be friends with me.
Yeah, of course he was crazy too, so I guess you could throw that out there, but I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a sort of realistic point to that, but
I don't know. Like I said, but like essentially, like it becomes a convoluted mess because, like I said, there's a lot of it that I'm like, it's hard to follow. Because not only is like the filming of this movie is very fucking just like dirty and dingy, and it's very like yellow and tan, and like it's hard to follow the movie because there's so much going on screen, especially, and all the guys are all bald, and they're all white dudes, and the only one that stands out is the cool black guy with
Mhm.
glasses. And I was hoping, like, I couldn't remember if he lived or not. So I'm like, man, I hope he survives, and he obviously doesn't.
I didn't like him.
I liked him
Mm.
because he beat the fuck out of the rapists.
Yeah, no, I
I
get
thought
that.
he was a rapist.
No,
I get that.
well,
but
he said he was, but
Yeah. I get that, but the problem I had with him is that he went back and forth all the fucking time. Like 1 minute, like he was cool like that, and then the next minute he's like, "I'll fucking kill you." Like,
My girl,
dude.
please.
well,
like-
he is a convict.
No,
so-
I get that, but it was like 1 minute, like he was putting on airs.
Yeah, but I think that his heart was in the right place, but he tried to like.
No, I think it's bad writing. Is
Oh,
what
yeah,
I'm saying.
okay.
Like his character was very badly written because on one hand he's like this convict with a heart of gold, and then the next minute, "I'll fucking kill you." You know what I mean? Like, whoa, did you not take your meds today?
Yeah,
Like, what
like,
the
calm
fuck
down,
is
dude.
going on? You know?
Yeah, I know, but like I said, like
Do
the
you need your
whole
morning
writing
meds?
process,
What
the
about your
directing
afternoon?
style, everything about it's so convoluted, it's so all over the place. It's
I
so gritty, and it's
I
just
guess
like,
the reason I didn't like
it's hard to
him
follow.
was because you could see how a good character was written, and he got killed off halfway through.
Did Kelly
Yeah.
not give you your nighttime meds last night?
So
Pretty much.
I don't know, man. Like this movie's a mess.
All
This movie's a
right.
big mess.
Okay. Suffering from pain in her chest and fearing internal injuries, Ripley scans herself with medical equipment aboard the Solicos? Solicos?
Sure.
Okay. Escape pod and discovers she is carrying an embryo of a xenomorph queen. How did she know it was a queen? Oh, because they wouldn't kill her?
No,
But-
you can tell the queen has a certain head shape where it has that like hoofed like giant head shield thing or whatever.
Oh.
So they're the normal
Almost
ones.
like a
Their head goes.
They're
like,
elongated,
just kinda
yeah.
back.
Like
Yeah.
that.
The queen goes like back
It's got like
and
this,
down.
almost like you could almost call it like the
Like a
tiara,
crown.
like a crown or a tiara.
Yeah, like
and it
comes
goes
back
up,
and
and
it's
it's
kind of
like very.
It's
yeah.
like feathered out and
Yeah.
down. Like it just.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
She could just
Okay.
tell by looking at it like
Mhm.
that's a queen. That's not one of the regular
Mhm.
xenomorphs.
Okay, dejected, she goes to find the xenomorph running loose in the prison, hoping it will kill her, but once again the creature refrains, sensing its future within her. Ripley next asks Dylan, the religious leader of the inmates, to end her life. He agrees to do so only if she helps them kill the adult creature first.
Hold on. So the part where she goes down in the boiler area or whatever it is, and she thinks she sees the xenomorph just sitting there, and she takes a crowbar to it, and it's just like a pipe that busts open with a bunch of, I guess, roaches or something in it. Didn't make any
Lice.
sense.
Remember, it was like lice,
lice
or
or whatever
whatever
it is.
Ew.
Didn't make any sense to me because
That's why
I'm
they
like,
were all bald.
yeah, it's because they had to shave their heads.
Because the place was covered in lice, and so if you were there, you were gonna get lice. So if you shave your head,
Yeah. So I didn't understand that because I'm like, so this causes her to have hallucinations? Like, why did she think
because
she saw?
it did look like it.
Yeah,
Well,
well, no,
I-
it was, and then she hit it, and it was just a pipe.
I didn't get it either. And then like I didn't understand the whole. So like they play, I laughed. Like I know this isn't a comedy, but like when she goes to like look for it, and he says, "Where are you going?" And she's like, "I'm going in the basement to look for it or whatever." And he's like, "This whole place is a basement." And she's like, "It's a metaphor." And I'm like, "The fuck."
What?
Like,
It's a metaphor.
Like a metaphor for what?
Yeah,
like
metaphor
what are
for
you
what?
talking
Like-
about?
Do you know what a metaphor is, baby?
Like I don't get it. Can you explain your
I also
metaphor?
got to admit, this is Ripley in this movie is my least. The least likable that Ripley has ever been throughout the whole series.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Like in the fourth one, she's a complete 100% badass.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, yeah, she's like
She's like building up to
she's
it.
like incompetent a little bit, and she's a little like bumbly. Hell, she even goes back for the cat at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But at least
Well, I
she's,
think that was more like
at least she's
she
brave.
was the only survivor, and she just needed some companionship.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And at least she was brave, and she was smart, and she thought on her fucking feet. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
She was like, all right, we got to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one, she's like, all right, I need to nut up or shut up. And
Yeah.
she got a gun, and she helped, and she was ballsy.
Mhm.
In this one, she's just like a shell of what all those are. She's nothing. She's like essentially like boring. She has sex with this dude that she barely knows for what reason is beyond me.
So she can die.
Yeah, I mean, because she just bangs this dude out of nowhere. And I'm like, where did this even come from? She even asked him straight out, are you attracted to me? Like, what? Like,
Yeah.
that's not something that Ripley would say.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So whoever
She's
wrote
the man
this-
in any relationship she's in.
Mhm.
right? Like, you
Yeah.
don't say, are you attracted? She would never say, are you attracted to me?
Yeah.
Like, she would not do
She
that
don't care.
because that's not the type of
You
person.
should
that
lay
she
down
is.
and shut up.
Yeah. Like, you don't fuck me, I fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's just weird to me. Like, I think that her character in this movie is so just weak and feeble and unlikable.
I think if done right, hear me out. I think if done right, you could spin this Ripley in a way that would make her more Ripley. Hear me out.
yeah,
If you do it right, and the reason I say that is because she's been through this twice, right? You go through this twice, and you're here the third time less than a week later, right? And you find out you've got one inside you after you've survived twice, and now you're here the third time, and you've got one inside you, and so at some point you're gonna maybe not break, but at some point you're gonna be like, I
got nothing for that.
Yeah, I just got nothing for
I'm
that.
out of energy for
I
this.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I'm not saying
And
that.
she even says that too at one point in the movie. She says, "You've been a part of my life longer than I can even remember."
Mhm. More
Yeah.
than anything else, I remember you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it's just the only real excuse I have for it is that. And again, I'm not saying that it's great, but if done right, you could spin it, and you could do it a better way. That's the best I got for it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
I'm not saying it's good. I'm
yeah,
not
right.
saying.
I think that her character in this movie is just very.
I think that's what they were
very
going for. I
disappointing,
guess.
yeah.
I think that's what they were going for, was to show you a side of her that, at some point in time, she's human.
Mhm.
I mean,
I just think that she's disappointing in this movie, and don't get me wrong. I guess that whenever you find out you've got a queen, like a queen in your body, you're hosting a queen in your body, then I guess you kind of like, well, fuck, you know.
You're like, get out of my crib.
I guess this is it. You know.
yeah,
What I mean?
I guess at some point you realize, she is human, and given what she does at the end, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, that fits. Yeah, she's gonna. But I wouldn't call that giving up, but it's what she does is more the final fuck you to the company. Like, you're
Yeah.
not getting me, and you're not getting this.
Yep. Anyway, go ahead.
They form a desperate plan for the survivors to use themselves as bait to lure the xenomorph into the prison's foundry, where it can be drowned in molten lead. Aaron refuses to take part, placing his faith in the Weyland-Yutani. I'm saying that right?
Yeah, probably.
Rescue team. But Dylan rouses the remaining inmates.
So there's no way to like make the molten lead connect to like a hose that they can spray with, and then have a water hose.
Well, they thought the
lead.
molten lead would just work. They didn't know that they were gonna have to spray it down with water too. So
I don't think you can. I think molten lead is just too hot. I think even by
Yeah, I don't
today's
think it
standards,
works
I don't
like
think
that.
there's a hose that would be.
yeah, I don't think so either. It'd have to be some kind of like galvanized steel or something like that.
Yeah.
They
Oh
would have to
yeah, that's
contain
what I'm
it.
saying.
You got a galvanized steel hose?
Well, don't they have the ones that you can like bend? The galvanized
Yeah, but
steel
that
you
wouldn't
can bend?
work though.
I don't think so.
Because it'd have to be completely sealed and.
Yeah, I don't think that there would be anything that would be portable
Yeah.
enough and
And what
durable enough.
that,
to,
and also what reason would they need for something like that if they are able to just take it out of vats like that?
yeah,
So
yeah.
it'd have to have
For their
its- it would have
purposes,
to have
even
a
if it
purpose.
did exist, for their purposes, they would have no reason.
Yeah,
to
they would have.
it.
It would have to serve a purpose, and for them, I guess it didn't. Don't get me wrong. The effect that they had in this was pretty cool. I mean,
Mhm.
thought
I
it
will
was
say the CGI that you do see, like with the cracking, and like once you find out
Yeah.
that that's the that was pretty good.
Oh,
Like,
that
the-
was CGI. Yeah,
yeah,
I guess it
the
was.
CGI that
it was
you
like
do
a split
see-
second though.
where it's like cracking and then it falls apart. That was the CGI that was in this movie. That was the very little bit.
Most of the prisoners are killed during the chaotic chase. Ripley and Dylan manage to lure the creature into the mold, at which point Dylan sacrifices himself to ensure the plan's success. Surviving prisoner Morse pours the lead as Ripley escapes, apparently killing the xenomorph. However, it leaps from the molten metal and goes after Ripley. She activates the overhead fire sprinklers, causing the creature's exoskeleton to shatter from thermal shock, finally destroying it.
Which was pretty cool.
Which I don't understand that. Like, it leaps out to go after Ripley.
When it's
When
not
this whole
supposed to.
time it's not gone after her once because it knows that
Yeah.
she's carrying the future.
Yeah, I don't know how to take that. I guess it's a last ditch effort. Like fuck you, bitch.
But it's carrying
You know
their
what I mean? But
future.
it's cute-
and,
yeah.
and their whole thing
Existence
is survival.
is survival. Yeah, I don't know, man. I didn't understand that either. Unless it was saying, "No, help me, mom." You know what I mean? Maybe that.
Help me,
Burst
Mom!
out now, help!
Yeah.
Help me,
Number
Mom,
4.
that's carrying my queen child.
But yeah, I didn't understand that either. But
Help me.
it was a cool
Sibling?
effect.
Wait,
It was great. No, I'm not
No,
denying
because
that, but
if it came from the same face hugger, that means it's its
Technically,
sibling.
yeah, it would be his sister.
It's sibling.
I still
And
don't
it's
understand that.
I don't
Queen,
either.
mom,
Honestly, this whole movie's got me.
cousin.
Because all the other movies, Facehugger was 1-to-1.
Yeah,
It did
I
its
don't
thing, and then
understand
it-
either. It bothers me a lot. Also, not only does it bother me, but it's also I shouldn't have to think this hard about a horror movie.
No.
We'll go
You know what I
second
mean? Like
cousin.
about like where like especially like I said, the
Especially not
first-
one like this that's always been so well written and so
Yeah.
like.
just a
linear
straight
and-
line, straight line.
Mhm.
This is like all over the fucking
Yeah.
place.
That doesn't make a lot
It's
of
like the
sense,
Texas
though.
Chainsaw Massacre's
This is
timeline.
worse, I think, because this actually has a
timeline,
plot
yeah.
that you have to follow.
No, he's talking about like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre timeline. Like
Oh,
the movie timeline.
the canon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
yeah,
over the
that
fucking place.
having to
Like,
follow
wait,
that
so if
canon.
this exists, how does this exist? That's it.
That's
Yeah.
it.
I don't get it.
because you gotta loop the loop, you know?
What?
It's like
They
Charlie
can go
from
fucking
Sunny.
cross-eyed. man.
What are you saying? I don't get it.
Yeah. The Wayland Yutani team is met by Aaron, who leads them to the foundry. The team's leader, a man who... What?
I said it's Charlie on paint.
What's that mean?
Charlie from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, it's always sunny.
Oh, okay.
Charlie, you huffing paint again? No. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. The Wayland Yutani team is met by Aaron, who leads them to the foundry. The
Okay.
team's leader, a man who looks identical to the Bishop android, implores Ripley to come with them, promising to have the embryo inside her removed and destroyed.
So, the whole time they were walking up with the recovery team, when they were walking up, all I could think of was it must have gone something like this, you know. Hey, would you like to be part of a recovery team to kill this alien that so far has killed every other team that has come into contact with it? Oh, don't worry. No worries. We're giving you something that the others didn't have. It's a big cage.
Oh.
A big cage. Where'd they have a cage?
They were carrying a cage.
Were they actually...
That was a cage. Why were they carrying the cage?
For the alien.
Which one?
The big one. Definitely not the queen, because they knew it was inside her. They were just gonna take her. Or the cage was for her.
Or the cage was for in case it came out of her. That's my guess.
Or
But it
both,
would
they
get
didn't-
through the cage if it got out of her, because they're usually like
They
that
don't
big
know
when they
that
come
though,
in.
because they've never seen the specimen before. Maybe they don't know how big this xenomorph
Look,
actually
I don't make
is.
the rules.
Is that in trivia? Like, do they explain why the cage is that small?
The cage wasn't that small. It took 2 people.
That huge being.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Dude, I just, like, as they were walking up, I was just like
You think you're gonna get it in that thing? Like
all I could
they had
think
trouble
of.
getting it inside this
How did
giant,
they?
like,
How did they
nuclear-
talk these people into it? Is all I'm saying.
Grab
like,
that cage.
hey,
Let's
you
go.
You wanna be part of this recovery team? How'd the other recovery teams go?
What are we recovering?
Not well.
What are we recovering?
This alien that so far has killed
A teddy bear.
3 other recovery teams.
You know, when they
Crew
were
expendable, by the way.
when they started walking up, the only thing I thought was the Dark Helmet
I think I'm
theme
gonna take
music
my
playing in the
vacation
background.
day.
Yeah.
Thank
You sure?
All right.
Sure.
Anyway, let's move on.
Today-
Let's finish this up.
Specifically, seeing through his platitudes. I didn't know that was a word. Platitudes. I know what attitudes mean and platusion. Platusion. And realizing the company is only interested in the creature, Ripley refuses. Aaron is killed when he attacks the company man, while Ripley throws herself to her death in the facility's gigantic furnace just as the queen erupts from her chest. As she dies, Ripley grabs the creature and holds it to her to ensure it enters the fire. In the aftermath, the prison facility is closed down and the sole surviving inmate, Morris, is taken away. Who's that?
The guy that helped.
The one guy that survived out of everybody.
I have a theory on how the Queen lived.
No, that
No,
was
that was the dad. Okay.
that was the one
ever
guy that helped Ripley.
Yeah,
the one that
with the wife and kid.
No, he died. He was the
I
one.
know, that's what I'm talking.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Morris is the guy that poured the
Yeah,
malt.
yeah, I know what you're
and then
talking
he helped her get to the furnace so that she could jump.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I have a theory on how the Queen lived. You ever seen those lizards that run across the lakes or the water?
Hot, 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 hot. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Ow, ow, ow.
On board.
Shit, this stuff is hot.
Let's get the hell up out of here.
Let's get the hell out
Get
of
out
here.
of here.
Just combine them both.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Wait till we watch Army of Darkness.
Oh.
Let's get
And
the hell out of here.
well, remember in Spaceballs when they're at the diner and the guy
Yeah.
has the chest burster come out
Yeah.
and then
Just
he starts
actually
singing
put
"Hello,
on
my
the
baby,
same
hello,
thing.
my honey,
Oh,
hello,
yeah.
my ragtag." Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Oh. The only lizard
just
I've
think
ever
it-
seen say hot, 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 hot was in Moana whenever Maui turned into a lizard and then started running across the lava monster who was actually Tafiti.
We were just combining all of those elements and laughing about it. That's all.
Oh,
They make
okay.
a good scene.
We guys should make a parody of it.
I'm just saying, like the lizard just run around.
I would
On
die.
board the Solico's escape pod, Ripley's closing distress call from the original Alien plays one final time. The end. Happy New Year. The
Oh
end.
my god.
That's what's going on. Hey,
So
look, it's her.
did everybody cover their notes? I'm
For the
done
most
talking.
part, yeah.
I think we just need to because there's no
Let's just
piecing this movie
get straight to
together.
the reviews on it.
It's her.
Let's just get right. Do you have anything else you want to say, Karen?
Why did everybody in the prison have an English accent?
Because apparently
Only English
Apparently,
people
everybody
are
in England is
everybody
like,
in England's
terrible.
Yeah, they're terrible people.
They're all the
Rapists,
Jack the
murderers,
Rippers.
You know,
Yeah.
I used to want to go to England really bad because I wanted their accent so bad. But now I
Then
don't
you see
really want to
their
go
teeth.
there because I heard it was always cold there.
In England?
Yeah.
Nah. Well, it's cold a lot, but not all the time. Don't mind me.
Just fill it up all the way.
I
It's
can't.
almost gone.
I don't have enough pop.
I don't think I have anything else. That was really. I just didn't understand why everybody was from England.
I don't understand why everybody was from England.
But I mean, I've always thought the England people were nice, and apparently they're all. Well, in the future, I guess they're all.
They're all dicks in the future.
Well, they're all criminals,
Rapist.
rapists, and murderers, and
They all want to be Jack the Ripper. Anyway,
Can I review it first?
well, yeah,
Yeah.
we usually go in order.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get into rating and reviewing this fucking nonsensical movie.
Let's review this bitch.
hit it, Madison.
Yep, go ahead, Madison.
Okay, cool. I didn't really like this movie that much. It was okay, so it had a good idea, but I didn't like how they did the not CGI stuff. I didn't like how they did that.
Hold on, I will say,
She said,
I will say that every time the whole movie, I was watching her because she was sitting in the chair, I was sitting behind her, and I'd look over at her, and she just looked bored as fuck watching this movie.
Yeah.
Like she just wasn't happy with what was going on.
"Fuck this movie."
And I
in
was just like,
particular.
what the fuck? Like she had this like very befuddled look on her face, like, really? You know what I mean?
When
Like,
will this end?
Anyways, I didn't like how it looked. The alien guy, especially whenever it was on the ceiling, I feel like that could have been a really good scene if they didn't do that. Like, even if it was CGI, I still feel like it would have looked better than what they did
if
with
it was just a guy in a suit,
Yeah.
That
like
would've
they've
been
done
good.
for the
the
last two
practical
movies.
effects.
Right, they
Yeah.
could have put him on the floor and then turned the camera upside down. That would have been smart.
Or yeah, built a set for it or
Right.
whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Unfortunately,
like
that,
she
that
said,
is
though-
that is what they did.
Well,
they
like she
they
said
used the
though,
puppet. They
Right.
used a puppet, but
yeah,
it was turned upside down.
and then imposed,
Right,
but it
but
was
if it was a
imposed
real
on
guy.
into the. But what she's saying is like,
Yeah,
it-
just do it practically
with
in
a
the
guy in a suit,
set.
which is what they've done for the past two movies, and
Mhm.
and it looks great.
hmm
It looked great.
hmm
I feel like it would have freaked a lot more people out.
You could have had a high school drama club put this thing on
Yeah,
and make.
but it's also like
Make the
Karen
t-
said.
make-
this was a very
Where the
rushed
KY jelly
production.
it
just
was.
ripped
It was a
down
very
onto
rushed
him.
production.
And that's another
It was
thing.
the
I don't believe
studio-
they should have rushed it. Like, why did they? What does it say? Why they rushed it?
Because the studio wanted money.
Because it's like she said, they put out a release date before
Yep.
they even had a fucking script.
Was
So
there
basically,
a reason why
it was
they-
the
because
studio.
money. So the second one made all of the money.
right.
So
When did
they
when did the second one come out? The second
Uh,
one came out. And
well,
then-
okay. I don't know. I don't know if it has anything to do about with what came out when. All I know is that the studio needed a win when
Well,
this
what-
one was greenlit.
Well, what I'm saying is like the reason why they might have went ahead and like, hey, we need to get this next one out is because maybe they're like, this one's still hot, it's doing great. Let's get the next one out so we can still
Well, you
grab
have
some
to
of
you have
that
to remember
money.
that when
1986 is when the second one came out.
Oh, really? So it was like
Yeah.
a whole 6 fucking years?
yeah. So here's the thing: you have to
Wow.
remember that when they made
Ripley
movies
didn't
back
change that
when
much.
this stuff was going on, it was different. So it didn't matter how much time had really passed necessarily. They knew that Alien was a gold mine, and
Yeah,
they
but they had 6 years
it
to
doesn't-
plan
it doesn't
and-
matter.
You know what I mean?
They knew that Alien was a gold mine. And so they knew that if they put out another Alien movie, it would be a sure win. This studio needed a win. They had had so many flops that had happened in succession that when they came up with the idea for this and it was gold, or when it was, greenlit, that it was like, I don't care, just get it going.
Right.
So, in essence, you've just caused another flop. You dumb fuck. Anyway,
It's just one of them. It's something that's still going on today that they were doing back then, even where the studio was putting their fingers too much in the soup and it ruined it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
They never learn.
they never learn. Yeah.
well, and the other
repeats.
problem is that they gave it to a director that, and don't get me wrong, David Fincher's a great director.
Yeah, but they didn't know it at the time.
They gave it to him, and it was his first movie, and they didn't trust him because
Yeah,
it was his first
exactly
movie.
because they didn't know at the time what kind of director.
And they
he
gave
was.
it to him on purpose because you'll see when I go into trivia that they gave it to him after all kinds of other things happened, and they gave it to him, and they're like, well, we can just tell him what to do.
That's true. Yeah, he's like, well, yeah, I guess it makes sense.
Except he didn't really go that quiet.
The sad part is if
into
they
the
would have
night.
just stepped back, spent more time on the script, and then just let him give him the reins,
Yep.
he would have had a great fucking movie. Because we all know David Fincher is a great director. He
He
did
is.
Seven, one of the best like horror / thriller like detective procedurals in movie history. Like
Yes.
Seven is one of the best thrillers of all time. Like it's just a fantastic movie, and he
Yes.
directed that shit.
Yes.
He's done a few of them like that. Actually, he did. He's a I don't know what all he's done, but I know he had a couple of them to his name that were.
Seven was the first one to come to mind when
Yeah.
we were talking about it. Just
But
because
Seven's a fantastic movie.
well, it was the first one he did after this one.
I think if I had to choose my favorite like thriller detective movie, it would definitely be Seven. Seven.
I'd
all
say
day.
Seven, and then like maybe The Bone Collector that
Yeah.
comes in there. Well, that entire like time frame was great.
Yeah,
for
I
those
guess
kind of
like
movies.
late '90s. Yeah.
The
yeah.
seven did set the precedence for it. I will give
Yeah.
you it for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
We go on tangents. Sorry.
This is a movie podcast. Just say. Whenever we get on the topic of music or something, then they'd be like, "All right, shut up. This isn't about
Shut
music."
up.
I lost it.
Sorry. You were bored. Practical effects. The
part with the
scene
alien on the
him on the
ceiling and-
ceiling,
yeah.
and you thought that he could have done it better
Yeah.
if he was practical and
I was
shot.
gonna say something else, but I can't remember what I was gonna say.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow? I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
I kept meaning to tell you this earlier, but I think you're pretty.
Is it because I told you my mom didn't ever say that?
I don't care what your mom says. I think you're pretty,
Oh,
or
thank
doesn't
you.
say.
Fuck your mom.
You already did, and
Ew.
that's why.
Come
I'm
on,
here.
don't bring back past horror stories.
You're gonna make him throw up.
Yeah.
I don't
stop.
care. I think you're pretty, and I don't care what your mom says or
Yeah.
doesn't say.
Just
You're
saying.
the only good
Why
thing
did
that came
you
out of
invite
that.
me here?
Don't say the only Gavin.
Well,
Yeah,
then
you
Gavin.
still-
yeah,
still- let's see. You can
I'm
say
talking
the
about
only-
that time.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Then the second time, Gavin. Anyway, let's move on. You're gonna make me vomit, man.
Vietnam
I'm losing my
flashbacks.
buzz now.
That's what you get. Sorry. The
Now I know why I like alcohol so much.
see, the plot line would have been good if it was
Yeah, that was-
stronger
that out
and it
everywhere.
wasn't
You
all
went,
over the
"Ugh."
place. It almost seemed out of order, like things weren't happening correctly as they should.
I agree.
They should have been happening the same but different.
It didn't seem like a linear
I think
Path.
plot and path. Yeah,
Right.
like the
I will
movie was
say
just
if you
running
watch
all
the
over the
assembly-
place.
Very
cut.
long movie
Uh-huh.
for.
I think that if you watch the assembly cut, you will find a better linear
I don't want
path.
to watch it again.
No, I'm not telling you to. I'm just telling you that based on what I can remember of the first time I watched this, if you watch the assembly cut, it is a better linear path. I'm not saying it's a better movie. I'm just saying that you do get a better linear path with what plot there is.
I'll take
Yeah.
your word for it.
Yeah, no, I'm not telling you to
Oh,
watch
I
it
know what I was
again.
gonna say.
Woohoo!
Jesus Christ.
I'm awake.
Don't know, or not. I don't not know. I don't like how Ripley was, and you're right, and it bored the death out of me.
No.
Don't like how Ripley was because she was so cool in the last ones, and I
Yeah.
couldn't stand her in this one because she was reminding me of all the other final girls, and I know she's different, okay?
She is pretty disappointing in this movie. I'll agree with that. She's very
better in the
disappointing.
next one, right?
Yeah. Yeah. She's like
She's a lot
100%
better.
badass in the second and the fourth one.
Depends
That's
on how you
probably
look
why I
at it.
like it so much more.
She is. She's like 100% like go fuck yourself. I'll beat your
Commando,
ass.
like yeah.
Depends on how
like
you look at it.
Commando.
I believe you, Karen. Oh,
She's a clone.
She is a
Not
clone. You're
her.
right, but she's a badass still.
okay. So, I really, at least the movie kept me awake. I mean, sometimes I fall asleep, so I have to go back and rewatch certain scenes.
It's hard to fall asleep whenever you're trying to follow it, though. Like, wait, I can't fall asleep. I need
Yeah.
to watch
I'm awake because I don't understand.
it.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
awake because
wait,
I'm confused.
It's
I
just
have
one of
to-
those moments where
yeah,
you're just like-
I have to know what that means.
You're awake because you're like,
tomorrow.
what's happening?
Yeah.
Drool
like,
coming out of
wait,
your mouth.
I have to know what that means tomorrow. What did she
If
say?
I fall asleep, it might make.
If
more
I'm
sense.
tested on this,
Yeah.
All right,
Like,
what's your score?
they gotta ask me something. I gotta know what. What? Okay. Anyways,
9, right?
like
Minus
negative
8.
It
9.
goes to 11.
Goes to
Goes to 11.
No. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 4, maybe.
Fair. That's a fair. That's a fair score.
fair assessment.
It's a very fair score. I think for me, I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna go on the record and say that if it wasn't for a lot of things, like a very convoluted script, shoddy directing, and all the studio fingers in this fucking cesspool, then I think that this could have been a great fucking movie. I think this movie could have been good if they would have just let David Fincher do his thing, and if they would have gave the script more time to marinate. You know what I mean? Like, I think that it could have been a good movie. And also, if you'd have gave, like, if you're gonna do the CG or like the superimposed images in the
Do it the
movie,
right way.
do it the right way, give it more time, let the people do their thing in post-production, all that stuff. If you would have done this properly instead of looking for that fucking paycheck, Fox, then this could have turned out to be
No,
a
it's
great...
Fox.
Huh? Fox?
Yep, Fox.
Fox.
I thought you said
Not
fuck.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a hired,
Fox.
if you're,
Fox.
if you're hiring a director to do anything, let them do their job. You hired them for a reason.
It's not even just the director, but it's also like they're putting their fingers in on the script and on the writing team. It's everything. You know what I mean? So like the script and everything.
Oh, you
like
guys are
everybody,
gonna love trivia. I cannot wait.
Yeah. So I think that like if they would have just let everybody who they hired to do the job, just let them do their job, it'd have been fine.
And if
because-
it flopped, then that's on them, and you never
Exactly.
hire them
then,
again.
Then yeah, exactly. And but I believe that if they would have just let David Fincher do his thing, it would have been fine. If it wasn't for that, plus like the way that Ripley was written, they killed off what's his face too fast.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that, did we?
That irritated my soul because like they banged and then he's like, you trust me putting a needle in you now? You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's a little cute moment, and then out of nowhere gets snatched up by the alien and killed him. Like, come
Like
on.
it's insensitive too.
He was
He
the
was like
best.
the only character you wanted to see.
Yeah, he was the only character along with the black dude who kind of was, you're right, back and forth a little bit, but he was still a good character, and so was he. And I think that those two characters were like, aside
I would have
from
rather seen him live though.
right, and his
Clemens.
death.
Oh, for sure.
His
Like,
death, much like Newt's and what's his faces, was really insensitive.
Slap in the
insensitive,
face.
abrupt, and yes,
Right.
it slapped in the fucking face. And I think that there's a lot of reasons why people hate this movie, and I can see all those reasons because they're very, very obvious reasons. And especially with the opening, like the first 10 to 15 minutes, you walk into the movie like confused as fuck. And then you find out she's got a queen embryo in her. Like, how?
Mm.
How?
How did that happen?
How did this happen? There's only one egg on there, and it's only got one face hugger. How did she get one in her? I don't understand this. Like, I don't understand any of it. So, like, there's so many reasons why I understand why people hate this movie.
So like Clemens is like acting like it's the same almost as the last action here. His face is still the same. It's kind
Well,
of like
yeah,
dead,
yeah.
just-
I think this might have been where he was sent after the whole Last Action Hero thing happened. He's paid his debt to society and he sees the error of his ways.
Yeah, right. Yep.
That's why they never talked about.
That's
what
why
he
they
did.
don't have guns. on
He
the
came up with some
planet.
kind of backstory because he knew that if he told her the real thing, she wouldn't believe him
He was
for
a
one
crack
and for
shot.
two.
He's shot it on. Anyway,
you
I
want to
think
discuss what your real
she shouldn't
story
trust
is?
him with the needle
No.
then.
so. Whenever I
We're not
first
going to go there.
whenever I first was done with this movie, I was like, all right, it wasn't terrible. I see the reasons and blah blah blah. But the more we talk about it, the more that I'm like,
I just
"Ugh."
killed a man.
So like, I think that for me, I was gonna give it a 5, but I'm like, that's still too good for this movie. So I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I'm gonna be fair because I know that it could have been a great movie, but it just
Right, it's not the worst.
it's
movie.
on the it's not the worst, but it's on that edge. It's teetering on the edge of could have been great. You know what I mean? But it's not because
Too
the
much.
studio just had their hands in it too much and,
You're being
and
too
they
nice.
ruined it. I know I'm way too nice. I am very nice, but I love this franchise and I love Alien. I love Predator, and I love it. But like this is the worst of the entire Alien franchise. Even Alien versus Predator, both of them are better than this movie.
I've never even seen the Alien vs. Predator.
They're not
movies.
terrible.
No, it's
I
not
think I've
bad.
seen
They're not.
clips of
They're
them,
they're
but-
not like.
I know you told me I should watch.
They're
them, I
not
just
great
haven't.
like horror masterpieces
No.
or anything, but they're good.
Well,
like
none of them are. None
they're
of
good.
The, none of them.
They're good. Like they're what you would expect from an Alien versus Predator.
Well, yeah, none
romp,
of the.
you know
none
what I mean?
of,
Like
Whole
they're supposed to
Predator?
just be entertaining.
Watch
yeah,
Predator.
that's
Yeah,
all they
it
are. Is
was.
just entertaining.
Yeah, that's all they are. That's all
That's
they're
it.
supposed to
There's
be.
nothing. There's nothing fucking. Like fucking.
They're not supposed to be canon. They're not
No.
supposed to, and that's fine. They're just supposed to be entertaining, and that's all.
And
they
that's
are.
all they are is entertaining. But like this movie, for being a third, especially a third movie in this franchise,
Should
should
have
have
been
been
better.
fucking phenomenal. Even if Ripley did die at the end, that's fine. That's
Well,
okay
for,
to happen
for
in a
that
third
reason
movie.
alone.
Die.
It should have been strong.
Yeah, it should have been strong for that reason alone. But the movie was such a dud and so boring. It was so not only boring, but it was brown and yellow. You know what I mean? It was just such an ugly movie. And I know that's a style that they were trying to go with, but like the first two movies were dark and blue and white and it was beautiful. You know what I mean? And then H.R. Geiger had his hands in that a lot, whereas in this one you didn't see that at all. I feel like he didn't have any creative like input on this movie other than maybe the Alien a little bit. But even in the Alien, you didn't get to see it very well.
Yeah.
You didn't get
Like
a good
a-
shot of it. So like where in the first two they were so fucking stylistic and they were so well shot
It
and
was
done.
front and center, and it
It was
was
front and center. You could
Yeah.
see them. They look beautiful. And then in this one, you just like it's brown and like it's just boring and dull. It wasn't stylish or artistic at all, and it wasn't scary. It wasn't fucking actiony. It was just boring, and I didn't care for it. You know, it's not fun. It's not
Yeah.
fun or scary.
Yeah.
So, 4.5. And
Uh.
that's being generous. Just saying. We're not running out of time. I've got all the time in the world.
Okay. Go ahead.
We've got 10 minutes before we're on 2 hours. Well, 8 minutes before we're on 2 hours.
All
Don't
around
you like
the
to keep it
world.
running?
I will go with you. I liked what you had to say about bare bones of good. I agree
Yeah.
with that 100%. It had all of the
Potential.
potential.
lot
That
of potential.
formula. That formula was there to be.
Oh,
good.
the concept. Well, I'm sorry. I don't
No,
mean to
you're
interrupt.
fine. That
But, like
concept
the
was there.
concept of like being on this like prison planet with these inmates and everything. All of it had the right ingredients to be great,
100%.
but they just left it on. But they took it off the burner too fast.
Yep.
So it felt raw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't good. It wasn't well cooked. It wasn't baked. It
Mhm.
was fucking. It tasted bad.
Yep. So I'm gonna go with the good first. I'm gonna say so it had that bare bones, but it had a good. It could have been a good plot. It could have been good from that perspective. I loved that she brought up that crew expendable thing from the first one to explain to them that the company was not there to help.
No, exactly.
Like she
Yeah.
brought that up to them because to me, from the very first one, that is probably one of the most iconic lines from any movie like this. When she reads "crew expendable," can you imagine how chilling that would be?
Yep. Especially
be-
in the first one. That was
Yeah,
one of the most
To
frightening
be
parts.
to
of the
be
movie.
on a ship,
Yep.
millions of light years away from home,
Yep.
and to see what is essentially your employer saying, we don't care
We
if
don't
you
care
die.
about you. Yeah.
Yeah. Crew
Yep.
expendable. Those 2 words, crew expendable.
Especially being on there.
Mm-hmm.
What did you just say about me?
That couldn't feel more lonely.
Correct.
That's got to be the most lonely anybody could ever feel.
Soul-crushing,
And for her to bring that up
isolating.
in the
Yeah.
3rd movie as a way to explain to them that they don't care. They're not here to help.
Yep.
Was sort of poetic to me. I like that she brought that up. As a way to explain to them that they do not give a shit.
Mm-mm.
I loved the liquid metal thing where they dropped it on. I love liquid metal as a death thing anyway. I mean,
Liquid lead.
What?
well, whatever.
What? Where?
Well, I mean, like they did that in a few other movies. I just love that idea. They drop that on something and it kind of solidifies, and yeah, I love that. I think it's amazing.
It is a cool effect, and
It is a cool effect, and
it makes it more fun.
yeah, I don't care what
Tacos
movie they
in
do that.
prisons?
No,
Why was that there?
It's a foundry.
because it was a lead foundry.
Yeah.
They were on a
Oh,
lead.
I thought they were in a
so
prison.
So-
they were that planet is like a prison planet.
Yeah.
So like
Okay.
they essentially go there.
They have to
and
work
They
at the
mine
prison.
the planet for the lead.
Yeah.
And then that foundry is where they sent the prisoners to work off their prison sentence.
So you remember when they were talking about the nuclear waste?
Yes.
Originally, what those prisoners were supposed to do was to create a place for them to send nuclear waste,
Mhm.
for them to house it. And then somewhere along the lines that didn't happen. So that
They shut
lead,
down everything.
yeah, that lead that they're mining or that they're doing things with was originally supposed to be, they only made the one area to house
Gotcha.
nuclear waste.
I love
that
that it's
lead.
lead of all things.
Yeah, well, lead,
because lead is so cancerous.
but lead houses nuclear waste. Like if you
Mhm.
put nuclear material inside of lead, it won't leak.
Right.
For some reason, it just lead contains it. So that's why they were mining lead. Lead would hold nuclear material. So that's what that was for. Was because originally they were supposed to be mining for lead to create these housing areas for nuclear waste. Originally.
Mhm.
But they shut it down and they moved everybody out of there. Well, the guys that stayed there stayed because they felt like they had found religion and blah blah blah, and they wanted to continue their celibacy and blah blah blah, and so they just stayed.
They allowed them to stay there as sort of like a what do you call it?
Rehabilitation center.
Sort of, yeah.
sort of like
a-
that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's sort of as just like a planet that they could at some point maybe do something with.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they
Sort
just
of
kind
keep
of
the
let them
lights
stay
on.
there, yeah.
Okay.
You keep the lights on.
That's why
somebody to
nothing
keep
really
the lights on
worked
that
because they're
planet.
like, well, they're there, they're maintaining the place to the
At
best of their
some point in
ability.
time, we
Yeah.
might need it.
Yeah.
Besides the pipes full of ice.
Well, that's why they didn't care about it. Like at some point, if they did care about it, they might come in and take care of that problem. But
Well, that's why they would terraform the planet. So
yeah, I will say, so the liquid metal I really liked. I loved the ending. I loved that sort of poetic justice there at the end.
Right.
You guys brought up the whole grungy and dirty aspect of it that you guys saw. Now I watched the assembly cut and the Blu-ray version. I didn't see that. I didn't see that gross, ugly thing you guys saw. Mine was pretty. It was that grungy and dirty that was from the other ones. So mine looked good. I didn't see that.
She
What
said
do you
mine
mean?
looked good. Screw
Like
y'all.
as far as like you guys said, it had like that. What'd you say? Yellow.
Mhm.
Well, it was like that tan.
It
The
just
entire
looked
movie
dull.
was like tan,
Dull.
brown, yellow.
I didn't
kind
have.
of dull.
I didn't get that. It was a lot like the other movies where you.
No,
had
I mean
that-
like the whole like overall color of the movie.
Yeah, I didn't have
like,
that.
I'm sure you did because like I'm sure it's not different. Dependent, you know what I mean? It's just the color of the
To me, what makes a good space horror movie is that grungy and dirty. And
okay,
this,
yeah,
and
it
this
did look
movie had
grungy and
that.
dirty, yeah. But I'm saying like the movie itself, like its base color would have been like yellow or tan, like kind of like the Saw movies all have like this bluish kind of color tint to it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I don't know. I didn't get that. I got that grunge and dirt and
Yeah, I mean, it had that,
Yeah.
yes, but I mean, I'm just saying
that
that,
to
like,
me is like that
its color tone was kind of like yellowish, tannish, whatever.
I don't know. I didn't really notice it. I guess I saw, to me, what you get out of a good horror space movie, whereas you get that sort of worn down space station look.
Yeah, it had that. That's what
Yeah.
I know that.
And that's what I saw. I'm just saying I didn't
Oh.
see that. I didn't see the
No,
tan
no, I guess I'm a
colors or
colors
what-
guy, man. And
Yeah.
whenever I notice like a dull color, I'm like, boring.
I didn't
It
notice
is
it.
really boring if it's
Yeah.
not colorful.
So that didn't bother me so much. I actually kind of applauded the look of it. I thought that the look was very.
Oh, I like the grungy, like dirty.
To me,
lived-in
that's the
look.
perfect space
Yeah, no, I
movie.
agree with that. It's just
uh,
the overall color
I,
tone.
I
over it.
love that in a space movie. It's perfect. The confusion. Now I'm gonna go into the negative. To me, the two worst things that this movie did: confusion at the beginning. Thoroughly confused, even though that we watched two different kinds. You guys watched one, I watched another.
Mm-hmm.
The confusion at the beginning. You guys had one confusion, I had another. So it doesn't really matter what version you watch. There's still confusion. And that to me is a problem. It doesn't matter if you've watched the director's cut or the cut that you guys watched. There's still a confusion where you're watching it and you're going, well, I don't understand how, there was she was infected with this queen, but yet there's still this other one running around. What? And like,
Mm-hmm.
how did the egg get on board?
Mhm.
And based on all the mythos that we've learned in the past two movies, this makes no sense.
Even if it was like just a face hugger, but like, how random would it have to be for it to be a face hugger that would have a queen embryo in it? I don't understand. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Astronomical would be the term.
out of hundreds and hundreds of eggs that she had, she just happened to put the one egg that has a queen embryo in it on that.
Well, even
pod.
still, both scenarios in which either the queen put it in there or Bishop did. Both of those
I don't agree.
Neither
with the
one
Bishop
of
thing
neither
at
one
all.
of those makes sense.
No.
Neither one of
Yeah,
those
I don't agree
are
with the Bishop thing
plausible.
at all.
Neither one of those are plausible. Neither one. So I don't. There is no scenario that you can give me that satisfies all of those check marks that have to be satisfied, in which it makes sense that an egg made it on there. It just doesn't. And then finally, the last one that I will say, because I said there's two big ones. Hicks, Newt, and Clemens. Their deaths, unceremonious
Bullshit.
bullshit.
Mhm.
The most likable characters in the series, and they die with little to no ceremonious.
Give me
anything.
Newt at least. Give us Newt back.
Right, she's just
something.
a
Like at the
kid.
very least, give
Hmm.
us Newt. You know what I mean? Put a kid in the mix of this.
I'm not
fucking
even saying that
mess.
you have to give us them back. If you're gonna have Hicks
Maybe
and
even
Newt
keep
die,
them on the pod, still like in hibernation.
if you're
or
gonna have
whatever.
them die, at least don't like make it so at the beginning it's like they're just dead right off the rip. Like you rip our heart outs. You don't even give us any kind of like. They don't even make it 5 minutes into the movie. They're just fucking dead.
Yeah.
And Clemens, he's easily the best character, best written, best. I mean, even beyond Ripley,
Even
like you
best
said.
acted, honestly.
Yeah, even beyond Ripley.
He might be the best actor of all the actors in
Yeah, I
this
mean, even
movie.
beyond Ripley, he's the best character in this movie, and he dies halfway through.
Mhm.
So
And so out of the blue too. It wasn't
Yeah.
even in an epic way or nothing. He just
Ripley
turns
doesn't
around and
even
bam,
seem
he's
that
dead.
upset about
yeah,
it
he's just
either.
gone, and he's gone.
Well, no, she was just looking for a piece of ass.
Yeah, pretty
apparently.
much. So, and again, going back to what you said about Ripley, I'm two ways about it. One, she's human, and eventually, all of us have a breaking point. So,
Well, at least you don't have to worry about a callback.
I get that. I get that. On one hand, we all have a breaking point, but this is a movie, and you want that like unbreakable, hero.
Right.
So I don't know. I go back and forth with it. So I'm not really gonna consider that a bad. But to me, I feel like if you're gonna have fans of this series, you really have to worry about what you're gonna do or say when it comes to the fans.
Especially with your main protagonist.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say 3. I'm sorry. I think that
You ain't gonna apologize.
I just think that especially when it comes to like the Hicks and the Newt, and
This movie's been out for fucking what, 22,
and it
32
has
years?
nothing to do with David Fincher. It has nothing to do with Sigourney Weaver. It even has nothing to do with what they did with Ripley.
Right.
It has more to do with what they did with the characters, the incredible plot holes and the confusion. More than anything else, that stupid, CGI or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm giving it a 3.
Man, we're on a tangent with this one. We're like really frustrated by this movie.
I am, because it's so. It could have been so fucking good.
Could have been, yeah. Eric, what do you think about Aliens 3, man?
I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. It sucked. 3.
It sucked. 3.
No, I mean, you guys nailed it all pretty
I
much right
agree,
on
it
the
sucked.
head.
3.
I mean, there's really nothing else I could add to that you guys haven't covered.
Yeah.
It's just 2.5 hours. What, 2 hours?
2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours of just boringness.
It is really boring. And then the good stuff does, and then whenever the good stuff comes in, it's very like choppy
And like you said,
and all over the
likable
place.
characterables.
Characterables.
Yeah,
That's
characters
a new
are
I like characterables.
Killed-
That's a good word.
killed off right. You know.
Reminds me of Lunchables.
Yeah.
Except we can't
So-
eat them.
No.
I mean,
You can eat
could.
characterables.
Can.
Just
It's
call
called
it
a
very
cannibal.
good.
It's very, very
It's
frowned
called a
upon.
cannibal. if you
It'd be a
didn't know.
cannibal. So it'd be that's what characterables is.
Yeah.
Cannibals,
Edible
characterables.
characters.
Yeah.
Cannibals.
Um, So yeah, there's really nothing else I can add to it that you guys haven't covered. So yeah, I'm at a 3 with it.
A 3, yeah.
So that's a 3.625.
I guess
It's
so.
a dud. It's a dud.
They literally could have just skipped over this movie and went straight to
Do
Resurrection.
you guys want me to do Rotten
Literally,
Tomatoes?
they could
Yeah.
have.
I already have
no,
it.
she's doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going in order, remember?
Oh, yeah.
I wrote it down
Oh,
last week, so I already had it up, so you can't do it.
Okay.
All right, so
Critics!
62.
guess we're getting into reviews.
21.
We're doing reviews now.
I don't host anymore. We just move on with shit.
We all host.
Yeah, I did put the time down
So
on
we're
reviews,
new. All
didn't
right,
I?
so critics.
21. 21.
I'm gonna go. What was our score?
Uh-oh.
we had a 3.6.
I'm going with a 36%.
36%?
Yeah.
Our audio is capturing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not seeing.
Oh, you don't see it.
It's done.
Oh, okay.
It's at the bottom. Calm down.
It's at the bottom.
All right.
You'd have been
Boy,
like,
would
God
that be some
damn it.
fucked up shit.
I'm going home, guys.
Fuck this.
We're not reviewing this movie no more. What are we doing?
21.
Critics.
I already said 62.
62.
I said 36.
I said 21.
21. You got it.
What is it?
It is a 48.
48. That's actually higher than I thought it would be.
What about audience?
I bet audience
21.
is lower. I'm gonna stick with my 36.
Stick with 21.
Audience. I'll say 43.
Eric got it. It's 47.
40. It's only a
What?
point lower.
Mhm.
Wow.
So, critics' consensus: Aliens 3 takes admirable risks with franchise mythology, but far too few pay off in a thinly scripted sequel whose stylish visuals aren't enough to enliven a lack of genuine thrills.
They fucked up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
but stylish. What? What did I say? Stylish.
It wasn't stylish. It was boring.
Stylish visuals. What stylish visuals?
There were none.
The fake CGI.
Oh, yeah.
There was
Makes
nothing
sense.
original about this movie at all. Like everything that you see in the movie could have easily been shot in like an abandoned hospital
Mhm.
or something. You know what I mean? Like or
That's
an
what it was
like
giving,
abandoned
too.
factory of some
Yeah.
It was
kind.
given an abandoned.
You know what I mean? Like it
abandoned-
did
The basement
look,
of a factory.
Yeah.
Which I think it kind of was supposed to because it was a foundry. But
I get that, but it didn't do anything new or innovative. Like it was still boring and like it was nothing that we hadn't seen before.
here's a good one. This
Could've
this
just shot at the
this
Ross.
is this is a
Yeah.
good point that none of us even brought up. There are no stakes in this movie. Some random criminals just die, killing main characters off screen. That's great. It never should have been made.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of a good point. Like
yeah,
so like there's a couple of on-screen deaths, but there's really no stakes.
But none of them really hit home. You know what I
No.
mean?
Exactly.
Like,
The only
other than
one really
Ripley,
is Clemens.
Yeah, Ripley and Clemens.
we just
That's
met
about
him.
it. And then like the other two
Yeah, but it
just
really
die off
wasn't-
screen.
Clemens' death wasn't really like, oh my god, it was just bam, he's dead.
Yeah, it was just like,
Yeah.
oh, he picked up and then
He was
like
done.
mouth thing to the face, and that was it.
Here you go. This movie's opening scene is a complete disgrace to Alien and Aliens. Even if the rest of the movie is fine, the first scene of the movie makes me hate it.
Makes sense.
100%.
Yeah. You walk into this movie within the first 10 minutes, you're like, all right, well, this movie already sucks.
And
dick."
that is exactly where I was coming from, because you come in from Aliens feeling so, from Aliens alone, just feeling so not warm and fuzzy, but you grew to love these characters, and you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, and you come in and you're just like, the fuck, immediately.
Yeah.
Alien was groundbreaking. Aliens was a purple unicorn of a sequel. Alien 3 was a disaster that proved even the best franchises need to know when to stop.
Yep.
Don't get greedy.
Preach.
That was a 1 star.
Don't
Without
get greedy.
Sigourney Weaver, this is a 1 star. Without Sigourney Weaver, this movie would be a confirmed B movie. Bad script, bad effects, actors which are good, but not really into it. The entire movie was boring and terrible.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean they had a pretty good cast. They just didn't script it out right.
I agree.
Didn't write them out.
Another 1 star, traded prisoners for soldiers with plot and suspense left in space, with a tired retelling of the same story, lack of development, and one-dimensional characters. Another 1 star, the film plays with many interesting concepts for the Alien series, but this is poorly written. The opening scene alone renders the entire previous film moot, making it very difficult to care about what happens next.
Yeah, you're right about that.
1 star, if you loved Alien and Aliens, I am beginning you, for your own sake, do not watch this movie. That's fair. Last one, since we're short on time. 1/2 star. Awful film that ruins and wastes what Cameron achieved in the earlier film. This movie basically ruined the entire Alien franchise and salted the ground for all future films.
I agree with that too.
Yeah.
Groovy.
Sweet ass trivia with Karen.
Alright, so that's
All right.
it.
Moving on here, let's get into trivia. Let's try to speed run.
I'm going to be very
quick.
quick, as fast as I can.
Quick as
They're long, but
fast as-
there's not
Okay.
that many. All right, so at one point, David Fincher was denied permission by the film's producers to shoot a crucial scene in the infirmary between Ripley and the alien, where the latter menacingly closes in on Ripley. Against orders, Fincher grabbed Sigourney Weaver a camera and shot the scene anyway. This scene not only appears in the final cut, but also appears prominently in trailers, and many regard it as as the movie's most iconic shot, the shot we were talking about. Michael Biehn stated in an interview that he was deeply hurt that he wasn't asked to return as Corporal Dwayne Hicks, his character from Aliens, but even more so that the film opened with Hicks immediately being killed off after escaping with other survivors at the end of the previous movie. He stated that he didn't mind Hicks dying per se, but objected to the careless way that they did it in this film. He therefore refused the studio permission to use a dummy of a corpse in his likeness, but allowed them to use the use of his photograph. Carrie Henn, on the other hand, was more accepting of her character Newt's death, simply stating life goes on. One draft of this shooting script included a scene where a chestburster comes out of Michael Biehn's character Hicks during hypersleep, which starts the electrical fire and initiates the ejection procedure. This was later abandoned in favor of having the EEV crash and sink. The water pressure eventually crushes the EEV, floods it, and breaks a metal support beam that impales the sleeping Hicks, after which airbags deploy that bring the EEV back to the surface. In the final version, the beam breaks and impales Hicks upon impacting the ocean, so a replica of the actor with his chest torn open due to the impalement was created for this purpose. Biehn found out about this by accident when Rafaela de Leontis, one of the producers of his movie Time Bomb, told him about this, that she had seen the replica when visiting Pinewood Studios. Erroneously thinking the wound was from a chestburster, he threatened to sue the producers for using his likeness without his consent. Even when director David Fincher contacted him for permission, Biehn, still unaware of the misunderstanding, angrily refused to have his character go out like that. So a non-identifiable replica was used. Later, the producers contacted him to use his picture at the beginning of the film for the computer sequence. apparently Bean received more money for the use of this one image than for his entire role in Aliens.
Oh my
What?
god.
And that's some bullshit.
That is some bullshit.
Like, if they had just explained to him, they could have used a dummy, and we could have
Yeah.
actually gotten a semi-decent...
Yeah, because you don't see his face at all in the movie.
No,
or
like, you
anything.
could have
You just see
gotten-
his hands, and it's all like contorted.
Yeah, if they could have explained to him what they were trying to do, you could have gotten a decent death for Hicks.
Yeah, right.
But they didn't. First-time director David Fincher disowned the film, stating in an interview with The Guardian, "I had to work on it for 2 years, got fired off of it 3 times, and I had to fight for every single theme. No one hated it more than me. To this day, no one hates it more than me." He cited constant studio interference during its production and actually walked out when the studio rejected his initial cut and ordered extensive reshoots. He was not involved in the final cut, but his initial rough cut later became the basis for the assembly cut, a longer version of the movie released on DVD in 2003 and a Blu-ray in 2010. Although Fincher was asked to work on this assembly cut, he considered it, but eventually decided against it, giving supervisor-producer Charles de Lauzirika his blessing as long as it was not called a director's cut. With regards to the new version itself, he stated that he has no comments on it as he has never seen it. For the creation of the definitive Alien quadrilogy, 20th Century Fox asked Charles de Lauzirika, I don't know how to say it, to supervise special effects of all the movies, and thereby offered David Fincher the proverbial olive branch, giving him free rein to assemble and comment on the director's cut of Alien 3. Fincher declined the offer, being the only one of the 4 Alien directors not to get involved with the project, stating that all the anguish he had to endure from the creative differences and studio interference during the production made him unwilling to revisit the film. $7 million had been spent on sets that were never used, thanks to ever-changing scripts before filming had even started. With a deadline looming and the studio getting anxious to get things back under control, they would call writer Rex Pickett almost daily with constant demands for changes. It got to the point that whenever director David Fincher wanted to discuss Pickett's progress on the script, he would let the phone ring twice, hang up, and call again, so that Pickett knew it was Fincher and not the studio. Even throughout filming...
That's sad that you have to have, like, a
code.
secret... Like, it's like a secret knock to get into a special...
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, how ridiculous.
Right. Even throughout filming, the script was constantly being rewritten, with new versions faxed to the studio on a near-daily basis. Cast and crew often filmed a scene and learned the next day that it had already been scrapped. See, this is why this movie sucked. I mean, this kind of shit. William
It's
Gibson
just
wrote...
like a mechanic when their customer is constantly calling and changing things on their car. It's like, okay, this car I'm putting out, you're done.
Yeah.
William Gibson wrote one of the first script treatments for the film based on an idea from producers David Giler and Walter Hill, which was initially intended as the first of a 2-parter to be shot back to back. As Sigourney Weaver's return was in question, Ripley would spend most of the time in a coma. The main focus of the story was on Hicks and Bishop from Aliens, who were brought to a deep space station where scientists have begun experimenting on alien cell samples with devastating consequences. When a dangerous alien-human hybrid gets loose inside the station, Hicks launches the unconscious Ripley in a lifeboat safely into space, setting up the 4th movie. Before he and Bishop lead a group of young colonial marines to evacuate the station, the first version was action-packed and included a battle between the marines and a horde of aliens in a queen's nest.
That sounds awesome.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why
Sounds
I included,
amazing.
I know. That's why I included this. And one of the station's outer hall. Because this was too expensive to produce, the second draft removed most of the action scenes and substituted the Marines for civilian survivors. Many consider this to be a much superior script.
Fuck
You
yeah, it
don't
does.
fucking say.
No shit.
However,
That sounds awesome. Could you imagine like a two parter and the whole first movie just be Hicks and Bishop? It'd be amazing.
Mhm.
Right.
Awesome.
However, Giler and Hill had hoped for more inventive ideas and wanted another draft. Gibson refused, citing other commitments and his frustration with foot dragging on the producer's part. Giler and Hill then concealed the second part, focusing on one movie instead. The only carryover from this original script is the barcodes on the back of the convicts' necks, a relatively lack of weapons on the station, and the appearance of the company scientists.
You know how much of how awesome that would be to have an entire movie of just Hicks and Bishop, and then at the end of that first part movie, have a short scene of just Ripley just waking up.
Yeah.
And then cut it to credits.
Yeah.
Bam, second movie, just all about Ripley.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, it'd be fucking.
That's exactly why I kept this in here. Like, dude, you realize what the 3 could have been?
Yeah,
Yeah.
be awesome. A
Although-
2-part third like movie, like yeah.
Although the alien that hatched from the dog was a rod puppet, early film tests used an actual dog in an alien costume. The dog was a whippet owned by one of the special effects people, which was used to be dressed up in a suit and muzzle. However, the special effects team thought the dog's movements made the alien look rather comical, so the idea was scrapped in favor of the puppet. The creature that the alien impregnates was originally an ox. A birthing scene had already been shot with one, but the host was eventually changed to a Rottweiler dog during a studio-mandated reshot. Director David Finch's own initiative, because of several issues, additional shots of the ox with a facehugger had reportedly failed because the cumbersome animal didn't cooperate, and an ox was seen as somewhat incongruous in the film's environment. A dog was felt more likely to produce such a fast and agile alien.
Yeah, you told
Can
me
you
ox,
imagine-
and I'm like, why is there an ox on this?
Can you
planet?
imagine?
Well, no, you guys didn't see the same one. So the ox are actually used for sort of like cows, like they pull, like they were used to pull the Suluco out of the water in
Oh, okay.
in the version I saw. They're beasts of burden,
I gotcha.
Imagine an ox-shaped alien.
and they use them for food too.
Right, I
So they
figured they
breed
were
them
eating
and-
them
yeah.
too, but
They breed them, they use them for milk, they, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it made sense to me, I guess. But, like, when I found out that it was a dog, I'm like, why do we have a dog? Like, to me, it was just as much of a ridiculousness to have a dog.
right.
But, anyway. Where was I?
That was one thing I didn't understand. It's like, okay, so they have lice on this planet. Everybody has to shave their heads, but they're allowed to have a dog.
Yeah.
So
The original Ox sequence was later restored for the extended assembly cut, where all scenes featured the dog were removed. However, in the Blu-ray edition of this version, prisoner Murphy can still be heard calling for his dog in one scene. Dr. Clemens, at around 10 minutes, being one of the Weyland-Yutani's backwater prison plants, marks the first time that the name Weyland-Yutani is spoken out loud in the series. It had appeared on computer screens and props in the previous 2 films, but characters also always refer to it as the company in dialogue. David Fincher wanted the alien to be more of a puma or as a beast, as opposed to the upright humanoid posture of the previous films, so H.R. Giger was contacted to generate new sketch ideas for the chestburster and adult alien. His revisions included longer and thinner lips, fuller lips, and a removal of pipes around the spine, which he had only added to make the creature appear less human, and an idea for a sharp alien tongue in place of the secondary jaws. Giger also designed an aquatic facehugger working from his studio in Zurich. He produced these new sketches, which he faxed to Cornelis de Vries, who then created their model counterparts out of plasticine. However, Tom Woodruff Jr. and Alec Gillis of Amalgamated Dynamics had already been appointed as the lead special effects designers, much to Giger's chagrin, who was told that they would only create suits and models based on his designs. Although they were open to his input, only one of Giger's designs that wound up in the final project was the Bambi Burster. Alien.
to say none of that that you just explained even
Yeah.
sounded.
When you were talking about it earlier, I was like, you have no idea how right you are.
Yeah.
The alien that had long legs that walked on all fours. This reportedly sours Giger's relationship with Woodruff and Gillis, much to their regret, but didn't stop him from faxing his designs to Fincher and paying for all the expenses himself, even after production had begun.
I did hear something about like Giger was pretty pissed off the production of this movie.
Yeah, so Giger saw an early screening. He was dismayed over the lack of his contractually promised credit, but was told that all of the movie prints and promised promotional material had already been finalized by then. He later sued the production for not being credited, as this caused him to miss out on an Oscar nomination for Best Special Effects. He received full credit on the home release. Novelist Alan Dean Foster, who wrote the novelization of the film, objected to the storyline, most specifically to the demise of Newton Hicks. Seemed like nobody liked that idea.
No, why would they?
Right? He found Newt's
Puts a sour taste in your mouth right at the beginning of the movie.
Right.
So I mean,
because it was so well done in the second one.
yeah.
He found Newt's death so tasteless and pointless that his initial draft of the novel had Newt's pod malfunction so that she survived, but had to remain in cryosleep until the pod could be repaired. However, the studio rejected this, forcing Foster to keep his adaptation consistent with the film. For this reason, the author declined to write any further novelizations for the franchise, but eventually returned 25 years later to write the novelization of Alien
Isn't
Covenant.
that fucking wild that the studio just pissed everybody off? Like, this is the way we want it because of money.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And then, like, well, okay,
It didn't even
you're gonna
work.
piss off the fans, you're pissing off the writers, you're pissing off the people who creatively created this franchise.
The directors.
The director, the fucking H.R.
Actors.
Geiger, even the actors are mad. All because of what? Because you want to dip your fucking fingers in this, knowing that, like, just take everybody's word for it and shut the fuck up and let us do what we know is best.
Yeah.
Instead, you're like, no, this is what I want.
Right.
Like, who are you?
And then it didn't make them any money either.
Yeah, it didn't make any money. Like, you have to, like, at
You
some
have to
point-
believe. You have to trust the creative process,
Yeah.
and therefore the creative people behind that process.
Exactly. Don't hire somebody only so you can control them.
Mhm.
Like listen to what people are saying, because obviously those people are the ones making you the money.
Correct.
Like, go out and direct it yourself then if you think you can do it better.
Right.
You know? Like, these fucking assholes in there with the paycheck, like writing the checks, they just think they know it all. Like,
Yep.
you don't know shit, obviously.
So here's where it gets really. This will really give you an idea of how bad it was. So no less than 10 writers and 2 directors were involved in the scripting phase, with Fox Studios reportedly spending a total of $13 million on numerous screenplay drafts. David Tawohi, Vincent Ward, John Fasano, Rennie Harlan, David Fincher, Larry Ferguson, David Giler, and Walter Hill all attempted to claim credit for the screenplay during the arbitration process, with only Giler, Hill, and Ferguson receiving it. 4 more writers could have claimed credit, but chose not to. William Gibson and Eric Red saw no point in doing so, since the film had changed substantially from their early drafts. Greg Pruse was talked out of claiming credit in exchange for guaranteed work elsewhere, and Rex Pickett, despite having written a substantial amount of the script, declined to seek credit due to how unpleasant his experience was working with the producers on the film. I mean,
So all this money that they've spent on reshoots and all this stuff, they could have used that money to better the sets and better the practical effects
Oh, the
and
sets
all
look
of that.
great. Everything would have been fine if they would have just, like I said, kept their hands out of it.
Mhm.
Step the fuck back and let the people who you hired to do the job do the job. That's all it comes down to. What it really comes down to, why this movie failed, is because they were like, the studio was too involved, and instead of just letting the people that they hired to do the job,
Yeah.
let them do the job. Step the fuck back, let them do the job, and give them more time. Don't put out a fucking release date before you even have a script.
yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Before you even hire a director or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, there shouldn't have been a release date. Like, if you're going to wait 6 years between movies, why does it matter now?
Exactly.
It is never explicitly stated, but what became of the Suluco after the EEV was ejected? Most fans assumed that the fireboard raged on to the point where the ship got critically damaged and exploded. In the original script, the fire causes the Suluco to eject all of its EEV units, but a subsequent explosion of toxic gas damages their electronic systems and scatters them in different directions. One EEV gets launched back into the Suluco and critically damages its hull, after which the ship drifts on aimlessly. This sequence explains how Ripley's EEV got knocked into the gravity of Florina 161 rather than escaping to safe space, and how her EEV's safety systems were damaged, causing it to crash into the sea rather than land via a controlled descent. This concept was scaled back for budget reasons, though models for the sequence were apparently built, and the explanation also appears in the film's novelization. Yet another scenario is provided by the video game, Aliens Colonial Marines, status interrupted. Shortly after the events of Aliens, the Suluco is intercepted by a company ship called the USS Legato, which carries captured colonists from other planets for the purpose of using them in xenomorph experimentation. The Legato docks with the Suluco, but a few Legato colonists manage to escape to the Suluco's hibernation bay. There, a fight ensues between these colonists and several company soldiers, during which a stray bullet pierces Ripley's pod and grazes the facehugger attached to her face. Its acidic blood spills, causing the fire that escapes to the pods, ejecting via an escape pod. The fire then supposedly dies out or is put out, and the Suluco redirects back to LV-426 for further experimentation, where it is finally found by colonial Marines from the USS Sephora, who are on a mission to find out what happened to the Seleuco. Both the Sephira and the Seleuco are finally...
You're telling me they depended on a video game to explain what happened?
That's what I'm getting at.
No.
Both the Sephora and the
That's some
Seleuco
bullshit,
are
ain't it?
finally destroyed during a battle
We know
between,
how games work.
between
Yeah.
the Marines and company soldiers. The game was originally considered to be canon by 20th Century Fox, but following the negative conception by fans, the status was more or less revoked.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's a fucking video game.
Yeah.
I love video games, but don't put your faith in canon in a video game. No.
So as much as we all
It's
love...
like going back in Mortal Kombat stuff. I mean, you got to go back and like really,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, but those
really
are all
look
video
into it.
games. But like, whatever you're putting your faith in, like your canon
become
faith
canon.
into like a video game that probably nobody really played. That's real fans of the movies because they don't really play video games.
Yeah, like when you're talking about like everybody bitching about like this doesn't make sense, and then they go, "Oh, here's a video game that explains it." Well, I don't play
video
Yeah.
games, so I don't care.
Yeah. So James Cameron, the previous film in the series, strongly disliked the film. He really hated the fact that Hicks, Newt, and Bishop were killed off so quickly. Weird. Everybody hated that. Which essentially trashed the ending to Aliens. However, he has been on record saying that he loves the style and photography of David Fincher's movies and considers him an amazing director.
He is an amazing director.
Yeah.
Mhm. So he has come to see Aliens 3 as an interesting failure and at least an admirable film.
Mhm. I love Lance Henriksen.
Yeah. Morse is the only one of the convicts to live at the end and is taken away by the company soldiers as they close down the prison. Although his fate in the movies is left open according to the guidebook Alien the Weyland-Yutani Report, Morse is transferred to a different prison where he is specifically forbidden by the Weyland-Yutani to ever speak about the alien. Plagued by nightmares of his ordeal, he renounced his faith and secretly started writing an account of his experience on 161 called Space Beast, which was published 4 years later. Though banned by the company, several copies of his book kept circulating for centuries, and according to the novelization of Alien Resurrection, it was called one of the sources which Call, Winona Ryder's character, learned about Ripley. The company and the aliens. Morse eventually died in his 60s, 25 years after the publication of his book.
So he goes on to write a book, and
And it becomes canon to the...
and they mention it in Resurrection.
Mhm.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that's why I left it in here, because I thought it was kind of cool. All right, last one. Like I said, these are long. That's, you know. Although Ripley's discovery that she carries an alien embryo suggests that she is the person being face-hugged in the opening montage, and I left this in because this explains a lot, even though it's not really in the movie. The final shooting script and comics adaptation confirmed that this actually happened to Newt. This is merely hinted at during the opening credits. The facehugger can be seen attacking and cracking Newt's cryotube, and when the scanner shows the facehugger attached to a person, Ripley is shown in a seizure state, but she is clearly not being facehugged. An acid burn is later discovered on Newt's tube, not Ripley's. After the EEV crash landed, Newt drowned, sadly while conscious and crying for help. After she
Well,
died,
it said that she didn't wake up or feel anything.
Yeah,
in
they
the
lied.
movie.
they lied to her
Oh,
to not make her more sad.
that's fucked up. And she's a little girl.
I know.
Yeah.
After she died, the alien embryo crawled out of her mouth and swam to Ripley's tube since it requires a living host to grow properly. It had opened Ripley's mouth and forced itself into her throat, explaining why it is sore when she wakes up. While unconscious, Ripley would have a nightmare where she finds Newt in her tube and the EV, who suddenly sits upright and spews alien slime, after which the queen embryo forces itself out of Newt's mouth. Although these scenes were storyboarded, they were never filmed because the effect of the creature switching hosts could not be portrayed realistically. The theatrical cut adds more confusion to this backstory, since Ripley's cryotube is already inexplicably broken before the ejection, while Newt's later appears intact, begging the question, how could she have been facehugged and drowned while Ripley survived? This is somewhat cleared up in the extended cut, where Clemens discovers a half-drowned Ripley on the shore, covered in dirt and lice, implying that the water rushing into her broken tube woke her up. This also fixes the continuity error in the theatrical cut, where Ripley is spotless in the EEV but dirty when Clemens carries her in the infirmary. The game Aliens, the game we talked about, ignores this backstory by showing that the facehugger actually attacked Ripley's cryotube and attached onto her face. The fire was caused because someone accidentally fired a bullet through the facehugger. And that's it.
Okay, so the one where
I don't like this
it
movie.
attached to Newt
There's
and
just
then
more confusion.
it came out and then went inside Ripley. It makes more sense, but
It's actually supposed to be the real canon. That
Okay,
still,
but how
though.
did it get?
But how are there two of them? I still don't understand that.
How did it get into her pod? Was
I don't
I don't know, maybe it's like a mouse that just can
slither
get into
through, I
little
guess.
places.
I
I
don't know.
don't fucking know.
Just add more confusion.
Yeah, that's all it is. It doesn't like they're just
It
adding
makes
more
sense that it
shit
could
to it,
attack
like-
Newt. It doesn't make sense that it got into her. I don't-
Exactly, it makes no sense. So I mean, well, obviously it was storyboarded. It wasn't actually in the movie. Blah blah. blah.
Originally, they were supposed to
Whatever.
have had some way to explain it. They never did.
Yeah,
I
because
include-
if Newt drowned, why the fuck wouldn't she have drowned if it was able to get into
Well-
her cryo? You know what I mean?
Well, in my version, it did explain that she didn't drown because it woke her up. Like when she crash landed and the water started to rush in, it woke her up and she got out and it washed her ashore. Because when they found her in my version in the assembly,
But even
cut,
then how is it going to still get in her mouth without her knowing?
she was in cryo sleep, and then when it
Yeah,
when it
but the
crash
water-
landed and
The
everything,
water
when it
woke
The
broke.
water would
If
have
the water woke her up,
Yeah.
then
Well, no, when it got into her tube, it was already broken. Is the way I understand it. Don't quote me. I'm just explaining the news. I don't cause it.
I don't know. Anyway, let's
She's
move
like,
on.
"Oh, why
I'm
are
ready
y'all
to
Yeah,
asking
let's-
me
let's-
My
about
yeah,
brain
let's-
hurts. I'm just telling you. That's
God
the way I
damn,
explain
my brain
it.
really does hurt.
let's
because
find
there's so
something
many
to
flaws.
wash
Talk
this
about something else.
bad
Yeah,
taste
no
out of our
shit.
mouth.
Let's talk about next week's movie.
Predator?
Just
Turtles?
not Texas Chainsaw.
Turtles.
Not Texas Chainsaw.
Oh man,
What is it?
Saw.
The first one?
Yeah,
Holy
we haven't done any
shit.
of them, so it would be
How
the
many
first
were-
one.
Oh my god! I hope there ain't like 10 of them
Do
in
we-
there.
Okay,
You know what?
Yeah, it's all of
never
them.
seen Saw.
I think.
I've never.
I don't know if we put all of them in there or not.
Well, I put according to you, I had to put them all in there.
I don't know. We might rebuttal that because I don't know about doing all.
I
the
did
Saw
what you told me
movies.
to do.
That's a lot of
I've
Saw
never
movies.
seen any of them.
The first one's not bad.
The first one's not bad.
Not bad. So
Don't they get tortured?
2004.
in a room
yeah,
by a
2004.
17. There are 17 in the box.
Whoa.
17
And we
Saws
haven't
in the
pulled
box?
one
Oh my
out?
God! Why?
we might not do that.
I say
I'll be honest with everybody.
After 3,
17 movies.
I'm not
done.
doing that. I'm not doing 17 Saw movies.
for one.
And it's sad that
franchise?
that's the first one we fucking.
I'm
drawn.
okay with doing like Saw 1, 2, 3.
No,
and
no,
then
I don't even want to do that. I just
I'm
want
good
to do
with
the,
3.
maybe the 3. Maybe the 3. I like X.
I've
was
only
good.
seen, honestly, I've done 1 through 3. And that's it. That's the only
I
ones
could
I've
do 1
seen.
through 3, maybe, but they're all kind of just the same.
Yeah, they really
All right,
are.
so like, do you want to go beyond that because they're not the same? I'm asking you because I've never seen any of the other ones.
I stopped after 3.
Yeah, I stopped after 3.
Let's see how we feel about this one first.
Well, I like the first one.
I like the first one too, but
From what I remember,
There's
it wasn't
17 of
bad.
them.
is there really 17?
Son of a
How?
bitch.
I went
know
by
there's
I went by
Spiral.
Google.
There's
all
Spiral
over my
and there's yeah, there's Spiral. There's not 17 of them. There's only
Dude, I
like,
went by
You
Google.
can watch it on Prime.
there's not 17 Saw movies. I know there's like
How many
Prime
Saw
and
movies
Stars,
are
I
there?
think.
I know there's the Saw 1 through 7.
Yeah, Stars and Prime.
Then there's Saw because Saw X is Saw 10. And that's the newest one.
Well, then why did it tell me 17? Hold on.
Because there's so many different variables. There's Saw 3D,
Yeah, that could be because
Saw.
it's gonna go by. I just typed in Saw, so anything that says Saw, all
There
Chainsaw.
are 10 Saw movies.
Yeah, it's gonna say
Chainsaw.
anything.
What the fuck is Chainsaw?
Well, anything that says Chainsaw is gonna come up and say
It's just Saw.
no.
You guys.
It's an Excel spreadsheet. So
There's
anything
one
that I
that,
put in for,
there's a Saw
yeah.
movie
Okay.
that came out in 2003.
Okay, she's saying like Chainsaw.
Yeah, I
Saw,
just did a
gotcha.
control
Okay.
find, so
Okay.
it's just gonna do.
Saw on your Excel sheet. All right.
Yeah.
You say there's not that many fucking Saw movies.
Yeah, I just typed in Saw, not like Saw movies. Like
How many
just
Saws
Saw.
do we have in the box?
17. Anything that says Saw, there's
Anything that's
17 of
yeah.
them.
So there's the Chainsaw movies, then there's Saw, and then there's
Anything that says Saw is gonna come up. So there's 17 things in the box that say Saw on them.
this has
The
been
last
a very
time he saw me.
This
This
is
is
a very-
a long fucking night.
it's
okay?
a long night, just a whole lot going on here, and it's
We've been going on for
We're
almost
doing
3
Saw
hours,
1 next
guys.
week.
let's just
Okay.
say it like this: I'm gonna sleep really good tonight.
Not because of the alcohol?
No, it's
This
because
is
of my
a year
brain hurts.
before
Oh.
the movie.
Ow.
We'll do 1
This is
through
only a 10-minute runtime.
What?
What the fuck is that?
What is it?
Apparently, there's like short film.
Yeah, there's in 2003, David, an orderly at a hospital, tells his horrific story of being kidnapped and forced to play a vile game of survival. Runtime's only 10 minutes.
I think
When did it come out?
2003, year before the movie.
I think depending on
Maybe
what...
it was a short that got that they were like, all right, well, we're gonna budget this and we're gonna give you because they've done it. That's how they did that Night Swim movie.
Well, and was it Art the Clown?
Yeah, Art the Clown. Yeah.
All Hallows Eve.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll make a short to get funded to be able to create a movie out of it.
Yeah, 'cause I typed in Saw, and that was one thing.
I didn't know
popped
about
up.
this, but that's a possibility. Who knows? Maybe that'll be interesting next week.
Yeah.
Ratings 87% on 10-minute short.
Well, I mean, sometimes those shorts are pretty good.
Yeah. Apparently, the Night Swim was, even though the movie sucked.
James Wan was the director of it.
Yeah, he's the
Well,
director of the first one.
sometimes like ideas are better as shorts than they are as movies.
Mhm.
Like that Night Swim, I can see how that could be a good short.
Yeah,
but, like,
probably
as a
make it
movie-
Yeah,
decent
you know
short.
what? That's a good... Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so anyway, next week we're going to do Saw from 2004, directed by James Wan. This is like the movie that really put him on the map.
Mm-hmm.
And really, he hasn't had much to do with the Saw franchise since then. I mean, he produced some of them and shit like that, but like he went on to do like the Fast and Furious movies, and he did the Aquaman movies. His bread and butter though really is horror because he did
Mithrigan.
Megan. He did
That was
he did Megan.
Bad.
He did Malignant, which is I don't care what anybody says. I like that fucking movie.
It's okay.
Isn't like the people who produced Megan producing some other movie that's coming out?
I'm sure.
I said when
Yeah.
James Wan and
I remember seeing.
Oh,
a
you're talking about
trailer.
Imaginary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie actually don't look too bad.
it doesn't.
No, it
It
looks
doesn't
cool.
look too bad.
What is it? James Wan and fuck, who's the other one? When they combine forces, I called it. I said,
Oh, Blumhouse.
yeah. I said when
Yeah.
they join forces, I'm like, that's when it's downhill.
Yeah, because it's all.
That's when it goes downhill.
Bring in the paychecks. Anyway, next week Saw. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to check out the
Stuff.
social stuff. Check out our Discord. That's a long one, man.
Yeah, sorry about
Oh my
that.
god, this might be the longest one we've ever
It
done.
is.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think it is, yeah.
I
Might
think the
be.
longest
Definitely
before
is.
this was like
Which is
2
weird 'cause
hours
you
and
wouldn't think
32
so.
minutes.
It might be, yeah.
It's 2 hours and 40 minutes now.
Sorry.
No, I mean like if you were to like be like, oh yeah, we did a podcast over Aliens 3, you wouldn't be like, oh yeah, that's your longest one. That had to have been your longest one. No one would say that, but it is.
It is. Because we bitched about this movie a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think it's because we're so passionate about it. Like
Yeah, because the first two
Alien
movies are
should
so
be like.
well, you didn't realize, like, well, I don't know why people hate the third one so much. Then you get into it, you're like, holy shit. You know?
No, I know.
Like, even I'm
I
pissed
think it
off
pisses you off about it because it could have been good.
now. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. That's the biggest thing, is it could have been great.
Fucking studio.
So anyway, till next week, whenever we do another horror movie, Saw, hopefully maybe the next week after that, we can get a comedy or an action movie.
Are
in
there
here.
any romances in there?
Fuck
No.
no.
Oh.
What kind of podcast
fuck is
I was
wrong
just
with you?
Asking. I didn't know.
Get out of here.
I
Oh
didn't.
my god, it just
I
threw up a
wasn't-
little bit in my mouth.
I did too.
Okay, I
Yeah.
don't want one. I was just asking.
I'm
I
gonna
don't-
be sick.
My ears threw up.
It's ridiculous.
Ears through up.
What about a Netflix
I
romance?
feel insulted
Uh-huh.
almost. You know what I mean? Like
A Netflix romance?
my head, my
You met
my
me?
heart hurts.
I heard
I,
them
was
gurgle.
I didn't want one. I was just asking.
I know. I'm just messing with
Jesus.
you. Anyway, next week, Saw. So till then.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.